are you, Todd?
Man, your hair's good. You don't have to do that.
I'm outside of my comfort zone. We're in Virginia at my wife's parents' house for the winter break. So I'm not in my house. So I'm a little out of whack, but all good, man.
You've married well.
She's the real head coach.
Absolutely. My dad told me a long time ago, he said, either your wife is going to bring you up or bring you down. There's no middle ground. So, Coach Benatar, and I'm pronouncing this correctly, Benatar, right?
Yep.
Like Pat Benatar.
Well, so that is my mom's name, Miss Patricia. So yes, I get that quite a bit.
Okay. Well, I've got a little age on you, so I probably know Pat Benatar, not Patricia, your mother, but Pat Benatar a little bit differently than most people your age. So, man, thank you for joining, man. Thank you for joining.
Thanks for having me, man. This is great.
Before we start on the big stuff. Obviously, you're from Atlanta, correctly?
Yep. Correct. Born and raised.
Somebody told me maybe 2 years ago, a year or two ago, they said, man, Kenny McKinley's son plays at Heathwood Hall. And I thought nothing of it. I'm getting old. Damn, I'm getting old, Coach. Probably about 26? Probably about 25 years ago, 22 years ago. Okay. I used to play ball at LA Fitness in Cobb County. And man, in that gym, it's crazy. In that gym, we had Charlton Young, who was coaching at Georgia Tech at that time.
Yep.
See why I was coaching it, man. Yep. We had him in there. Yeah. Oh yeah. He's skinny. He was so skinny, man. I had no idea he was such a good basketball player.
Great.
And I didn't even know he coached at Tech. But
he was a terrific player before my time. But I got to know him when I was. So he was at Georgia Southern when I was at Chattanooga. We had some mutual friends, and I mean, he was a heck of a player.
Yeah, but in that gym, we had CY was in that gym. Mm-hmm. And again, this is just a nondescript LA Fitness. We had Jaylen Brown, who was a young kid back then. Man, he was probably, I don't even know how old. Man, he was probably 9 or 10 during that time. We had Jared Harper, who went on to play at Auburn.
I remember Jared.
We had Darius Perry. I know Jared and Darius's dad. We all hooped together. So I know Darius Perry. He was a young kid in that gym. But we also had a young kid, a little dark, and I love little dark-skinned kids. It's just what it is. We had a little dark-skinned kid in there who had probably one of the best smiles I've ever seen in my life, man. He had one of the best smiles, man, and he was just the nicest kid ever. He was a decent basketball. I wouldn't say he was a great basketball player, but he was so young at that time.
Right.
He was a decent basketball player. And I remember coming up to him as he was ending his junior or senior in high school, and he used to always be around. And I said, man, what are you doing next year? Because I always like to ask kids, what they're doing, as they get to, as they go to college. He said, man, I'm going to University of South Carolina. And obviously, I grew up in South Carolina.
Right.
So I was familiar with Columbia. He said, yeah, I'm going to University of South Carolina. I said, what are you going to do there? I figured he was going to be in a band or something. Because he was so slim. He was so small. And he said, man, I'm going there to play football. I said, what? I said, what kind of football are you playing there? And he told me, he said, man, I'm a football player. He said, Steve Spurrier just recruited me, man, and I'm going to play football for the Gamecocks. And I said, man, wow. I hope he does well. And I've always rooted for him. But he had such a great personality, man. And I'll always loved him. And I didn't really even know what his name was because he used to hang out with this group. Shout out to Lewis and a bunch of other kids he used to hang around. So fast forward, 4 years later, man, I got a bar in Columbia.
Okay.
And he comes by the bar down in the Vista. I see Kenny.
Okay.
It's Kenny again. You know what I'm saying, kid? Still with that same big smile.
Big smile.
He set all these records at the University of South Carolina. I said, man, I almost get choked up even talking about it. I said, man, I am so proud of you, man. I am just so, because he was the same guy. Obviously, he had done, great things at South Carolina. Right. I said, man, I'm so proud of what you've been able to do. And not necessarily just because of going to, doing great things athletically, because we all know that, things could get misconstrued. It doesn't always work athletically for a kid. But, man, I was so proud of him because he stayed the course. He stayed the course. And I've never been to a University of South Carolina football game in my life. Never.
Is that right?
Never been.
Wow.
But I know that he has his name up there. He's got his name somewhere in that building, man. And I'm just so proud of him. And obviously, what he was able to accomplish. And obviously, he's no longer here with us, man. But anytime I see him and kind of see his picture, it always kind of brings a warm place to my heart to be like, man, I remember that kid when he was in the 7th or 8th grade playing with us in LA Fitness. Always the most respectful, one of the most respectful kids that I remember, but always just having he had that Magic Johnson smile, man. And when somebody told me that his son was playing at Heathwood Hall, and I didn't even think about this when I talked to you the first time, I said, man, I got to ask Coach, man, is that true that Kenny's son plays at Heathwood Hall? And I know you got your own story about Kenny playing with him in high school, man. But I just wanted to make sure that we said that before we talked about anything else.
Well, so his son Keon is a junior with us. He is a terrific football player, and he is equally as good a basketball player. And and you talk about Kenny's huge smile, and Kenny was 2 years younger than me when we played. We didn't run in the same. I mean, we didn't play other than just at the high school circuit. Like, he didn't know me, I didn't know him. I knew who he was. We were in the game at different times. He was already up by 30 and out enjoying the bench, and I was in getting garbage time at that time. But so when I got the job here, and I'm learning, the players, the returners, new guys. Tymir Zimmerman, our football coach, like, hey man, like Kenny's son Keon is gonna be a freshman with us. He's a football player, he plays basketball. And you talked about that smile that Kenny had, and Keon has the exact same smile. He just brightens up a room. He's an unbelievable kid. He works so hard. He's a great player on the football field. He's a great player for our basketball team. He's a huge part of our success. He was a huge part of the football team's run to the state finals. But just one of the best kids you will ever meet, and he has that same smile. Sometimes a little too goofy, where I gotta say, hey man, we gotta get serious here. But just an awesome kid, and he's so fun to coach. And it's you bringing that story up about Kenny's big smile, it made me think of Keon's big smile, because it's the same thing. And it was kind of really unique, sharing some stories with Keon about going up against his dad back way back when we were a little bit younger. So, but small world, really small world.
Yeah, man. Rest in peace, Kenny McKinley, man.
Rest in peace for sure.
Special kid. With that being said, I have an apology to make to you.
Okay.
I had no idea you guys were going to do what you all did this year.
That is okay. That is okay.
As I'm looking at your record, obviously 10-0 in the region, if this is correct, from what I'm reading, 10-0 in the region. And you took some lumps early. Obviously, you took a big lump to Westwood, and you took a lump to Dreher and a few other schools. But before we get into the region play, and we talked about the last time you came on, we talked about kind of your vision for the program.
Right.
And if I'm looking at it from an outside perspective, I kind of view the way high school basketball has kind of changed. You are in a really, really good spot, because you're able to offer parents, not kids, but parents, a great education and great athletics at the same time. So with that being said, talk a little bit about, before we get to what you guys were able to do this year, talk a little bit about your vision for the program and where you think you guys have been able to kind of take a step forward, as opposed to where you were but when you first got there.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned, the academic component of being at Heathwood Hall. I mean, I don't say this because I'm, I work there and I coach there, but I think it's one of the best, if not the best education, in the state. It's incredible that there's so many different resources available for the kids to get a comprehensive experience academically. And then when you add that athletic component, so many kids now are wanting that athletic experience along with the academic experience. And for me, when I took the job, I said, hey, we can do both, man. We can give these kids and these families a really good academic experience, which, we do by the tenfold, and then we can give them an athletic experience. And, Jeff, when I took over, Jeff had done an unbelievable job of consistency here. And I know, the last couple of years before I hopped in there, they weren't as quite as strong as this previous, but, I really wanted to, when I took over, wanted to, again, give those kids and those parents an experience where, you build a heck of a basketball program, a competitive and sustainable basketball program, but you also, give them an academic component, but you also teach them about life. And at the end of the day, I mean, the reality is, like, yes, we want to try and be successful on the court, but as a coach, I'm just a believer in, hey, use basketball as your platform to teach these kids about how to be part of a team, how to communicate, how to fight through adversity, how to work, how to problem solve. And we try to, we're kind of tying all that in together. And year one, I mean, that was really just like, let's set the foundation. Let's set the foundation for working hard, period. End of story. Don't worry about results. Let's just work as hard as we can work. Let's be a part of a team. Let's be together. Let's do those little things that turn into big things, and let's see where it goes. And then we were able to take some steps along the way, and baby steps, and then took a nice big step last year, and then took a bigger step this year. So, we're just, and I don't know if some people say, oh, you're on schedule, you're ahead of schedule, whatever that may be. We just, we've really put the emphasis on, let's just get better. Let's just get better as a group, and, as a group, as a team, and let's help these kids get better as individuals and see kind of where the chips fall.
Now, I would say you're ahead of schedule. I don't know what schedule you're on, but you're ahead of schedule if you're 10-0 in the conference. With that being said, and I know there's all kids are different. Would you categorize your program now as full of kids who are trying to get to, who want to play college basketball, or like where are you right now? Where are you right now? Because
that's a good question. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
In comparison, I think that if you go to most schools, say a 4A or 5A, a big school, you got 12 players. All 12 of them think they could probably be college basketball players. Only probably 3 or 4 of them are going to be college basketball, or maybe have the opportunity. But 12 of them think they can be. And you understand, because you got to have that kind of mentality. Yeah. So my question is, what's the mentality of typically the players that you have?
So I want to give them, having spent 15 years at the college level, I want to give them the tools that if they have the opportunity to do that, they're ready for it. Do I hope that all 12 guys go play at the next level in a sport? That'd be great. Is that going to happen? I don't know. It's up to them. I mean, like I said, we talked about Keon. Keon's probably going to play Division I football, right? Mm-hmm. We've got 3 or 4 guys that are looking at basketball. I've got a senior who's a heck of a golfer he's a golfer and a skier, water ski guy. I mean, so if that's the route, whatever route these kids want to go, whether it's a sport, whether it's being a regular student, whatever it is, I want to use what we're teaching these kids to prepare them for whatever that is. So again, if it's an opportunity to play college basketball, I'm all for it. They should have the tools. If it's college football, hey, I can't teach them necessarily how to run around or make a tackle other than sitting from my couch. But if I can teach them about working hard, being a part of a team, fighting through adversity, and they can use that when they go play that sport or when they go to that college to be a student, then I feel like I've done my job. But we just want to give these kids all the tools possible to set themselves up for success in whatever they do. So, hey, like I said, I hope we have 3 or 4 guys that, we got 5 seniors. I think, 4 of them are have aspirations to play next level athletics. One of them is committed to a Division III football program in Ohio. He would love to play basketball if he can. We've got a couple others that are still kind of trying to figure it out. We've got a really, we talked about Keon as our only junior on the team, and we've got a really heavy sophomore class and a couple eighth graders that all have aspirations to do that. So again, it's my job, our staff's job, to just give them all the tools possible to where they can put themselves in the position for those moments.
So I did a horrible job of asking that question. What I was really asking is, how competitive is your environment? And you seem like you have a very competitive environment, regardless whether it's basketball or not.
No, and that's okay. And I misunderstood the question. Well, I'll put it to you this way. We always talk about, if you're not ready to compete, probably not a good idea to come to practice. Probably not a good idea to come to practice. We do a lot of stuff. I mean, we try to make everything as competitive as possible. I think that has helped our team with the success we've had this year. And that's not a basketball thing. That's a life thing. And us as adults, you're going to have to always compete no matter what you do. If it's in sports, in the business world, when you go to college as a student, you're going to have to compete. So yeah, we try to make everything as competitive as possible. Whether it's drill work, whether it's live play, whatever it is, we try to make things a competition. Sometimes when we're on the road and we're doing stuff, in travel, we want to make it a competition. Because I think that just helps prepare you for growing up and going through life, is learning how to compete. And I think, and in today's world, it's a lost art. And I think teaching kids how to compete should be, as a coach, and particularly at the high school level, I think that should be, step one. Teach them how to compete. You can always teach the skill component, the technical stuff. Teach them how to compete. You give yourself a chance for success.
You are preaching to the choir on that, man. We love some competition on this side. So with that being said, you're talking about competition. And one thing, to just kind of go back one step.
Okay.
The thing that and you hit the nail on the head. The thing that I think that is one of your major advantages at Heathwood is resources. That's the name. That's the word that you said. It's not about necessarily kids or any better or any worse than other. It's about resources. Yep. And so many times it just boils down to, like me. I'm a kid who needed resources. I wasn't the smartest kid. I wasn't the non-smartest either. But so many times kids just need resources. And I think that that's what you will give, what Heathwood gives them an opportunity to do, is have those resources. So with that being said, man, let's talk about some hoops. 19-7 overall, 10-0 in conference. We'll talk conference next. But first of all, you guys played a pretty tough non-conference schedule. Mm-hmm. With that being said, because that's on you. That's on you as a coach. Mm-hmm. What made you play that kind of schedule before you got into SCISA action in conference?
So, last year we finished 17-10, and we had 3 seniors last year. We had a heavy, and all of our current seniors now were juniors. We had a group that we felt when we got beat by Porter-Gaud in the quarterfinals, and they were a very good team. They're well coached. They had a bunch of seniors. They had a bunch of old guys. And we get beat by them. I thought, you know what? That team kind of reminds me of what I think we could be this season. We have 4 seniors, and we have 5 seniors, one of which joined us after a 2-year hiatus. But we had 4 seniors. 4 of those 5 seniors were with me my first year as sophomores, and they were all key minute guys as sophomores on varsity. We had some current sophomores that played as freshmen. We had a group that we just felt that could make a run at this thing. Mm-hmm. What that looks like, that remains to be seen. But we felt like we had a group that, you know what, we could maybe get to the finish line, maybe. So how do you get them ready for that? And to me, it's play tough competition. We had guys that were older. We had of those 4 seniors that have been with us for a while, 3 of which played football. So I had no idea when we'd get them back. They made a heck of a run in the state football playoffs to the championship game. So that kind of delayed our season a little bit. So those guys got 1 day of practice, and then we had to go to Westwood. As you alluded to. But and like so like for me, when I do my schedule, I get with my captains and my older kids. I say, hey, who do you guys want to play? Like, this is your team as much as it is ours. Like this, we're in this together. Who do you guys want to play? So we kind of went through the list of, and I have this comprehensive list that I make every year. Okay, this is who we could play. This is what they did last year. Who'd they lose? Yada, yada, yada. You don't want to play a schedule where you go get, you take 12 losses before you start conference play. You don't want to do that, but you want to compete. And I go back to we wanted to compete. And, like we talked about Westwood, Trent is a guy that I got to know as soon as I got the job. And we've always talked about, hey, let's get together and do this at some point. I'm not sure when we would do it. And I thought, you know what, this is an older group. Let's do it. Let's see what happens. Hey, to their credit, they kicked us, and they got a good team.
I can tell you what happened. 66, 38.
I'm him, and he does he's done an unbelievable job of building, rebuilding that program, and I know they're going to be there at the end. And but like our guys, our seniors, they're like, hey, coach, let's go play. Let's go play Westwood. I told them, like, hey, we've been talking. You want to do this? They're like, yeah, let's do it. We've been playing in the Hoops Giving Showcase by Epic Hoops. And, I said, hey, give us some tough games. We give us Flora, give us Dreher. We always try to take an out-of-town trip, around Christmas time. And we went down to Savannah in the one of the challenge down there. And they're like, hey, coach, we got Episcopal out of Jacksonville. I'm like, yeah, give us those guys. Like, why not? We run our tournament right at the beginning of December, and I want good teams. I don't want to. I mean, yes, you want to win your tournament, but I want to challenge ourselves because I know how tough our region is. I know how tough going through SCISA 4A is. So, kind of long answer to your question. We wanted to prepare ourselves for the grind of a SCISA 4A regular season and a SCISA tournament, and we felt these type of teams would give us the best path to do that. And like I remember after the Westwood game, most coaches get beat by 30. They're all upset. I'm like, no, I'm not upset. They're supposed to beat us, and that's okay. But let's compete. Which you
didn't get beat by 30.
28.
You got beat by 28.
but I told myself, I'm pleased with some of the things we did. And this is our first day with everybody together. We're going to build on this, and they did. And to their credit, they didn't let the 28-point loss bother them. They came back to work the next day, and then we beat Flora. Took a tough one at Dreher, and it's all about learning. It's all about learning. So we used that early season to learn about our team and learn what we needed to do to be successful. So I'm pleased with how we've scheduled, and I'd do it again.
Well, I mean, kudos to you because I believe, and this is, I could be wrong on this, but you've got steel sharpen steel. You've got to play the best.
It does.
Because that's the only way you're going to figure out what you are. You know what I mean? Right. And it feels good to win by 20, believe me. I know it feels good. And it feels a little different to lose by 20, but you learn more in those losses.
You learn. I'm a believer. You win or learn. You win or learn.
And obviously that is proof in the pudding, the 10-0 region. So with that being said, talk a little bit. Obviously, going undefeated is fantastic. And I know you got the playoffs, and I know the seeding is not out just yet. But talk a little bit about the region and how difficult that region is right now. Because at least in my mind, I know from the top, man, you guys have some real strong talent there at the top. And I didn't think anybody would go undefeated in SCISA in your particular region. But
yeah, talk
a little bit about the region itself.
And I've been here for 3 years, and I've seen the region. I've seen teams change, but I tell you what it is. We got 6 teams in our region, and you've got 6 really good coaches. Well, 5. I'll take myself out of the equation. You've got 6 really good coaches, and a lot of them have some level of either college coaching or college playing or both. So there's already a dynamic from a coaching point. Then you talked about, steel sharpen steel. There's already that dynamic to where guys are running college level schemes. They're running college level scouting. Like you can't just walk in and say, oh, we're going to win this game. No, you have to prepare. So there's good coaches in our league. There's good players in our league. One of the things, I mean, the teams that, we beat in close games. I mean, we needed a buzzer beater to beat a well-coached and good Ben Lippen team. We had 2, 5-point loss, or a 5-point win and a 10-point win against Hammond. I mean, they are tough as nails. They are physical.
Jackson Ross.
Great coach. His son is a terrific player. and they're always going to play you tough. They do some things defensively that make it harder. We go down to Augusta Christian, and they were 4-5 coming into that last game, and we had to scrap and claw. And I told our guys going in that game, I said, "God, we beat them. We beat them by quite a bit at our place." And I told them in the locker room, I said, "Guys, that doesn't mean a hill of beans. You're going to have to play this game." Right. And I'm telling you, we've been in that shoe. They want to spoil your season. And if you don't bring it, they're going to come out on the other side. And sure enough, it was a 4-point game. We had to go in there and win the game and execute late, both sides of the ball, and made enough plays. So the bottom line is our region is very well coached. They're always going to compete. There's good players top to bottom. There's a lot of young talent. I look at some of these teams, and you've got 8th and 9th graders and 10th graders out here playing major minutes. I mean, to me, that speaks volumes for what this region is going to continue to be. And you obviously have your juniors and your seniors who've been through it, but you got great young players. So it is a tough region. It is a competitive region. And to me, it doesn't matter what region, what level to go 10-0. That's a testament to our kids and their work ethic, and just kudos to them for staying the course. But it's hard. It's competitive, and now as we kind of make our way into playoffs, you can throw records out the window. Everybody's 0-0 now.
I got 2 more questions for you. One question, and again, we have Coach Brian Benatar in the hot seat with the Lost Letterman tonight. Thanks for joining, Coach. With that being said, it seems like there's, to me, talent-wise in South Carolina, SCISA, South Carolina High School League, like there shouldn't be any delineation. Like we need all the talent to kind of be just viewed as one. How do we get to a point, or maybe I'm just looking at it wrong. How do we get to a point where we look at the talent, not SCISA, not South Carolina High School League, but just South Carolina? Because I think one way we do is and it's proactively what you've already done is scheduling games where you play public schools, and public schools scheduling games where they play SCISA schools. So what's the next step in terms of getting, in your estimation, to a point where all the best players are playing against each other?
No, I agree. I think it's as a basketball community, as coaches and as constituents of the basketball community in the state, just keep promoting your kids, regardless of the level, regardless of the school. If you've got talented players, promote them. And obviously, what we're doing right now, social media is a great tool. It's really exploded, obviously, over the last X amount of years. But, I would say I would challenge the coaches out here, like in the state and the other constituents, man, promote these kids, promote your kids, put highlight tapes out there, let them know, hey, you got good players all across the state, all across levels. And, scheduling is a huge piece of it. I know that, we're going to go out and play some public schools. I know a number of different SCISA schools, whether they're our region, whether they're in the Charleston region, the Sumter region, they're going to go play in different showcases. And I mean, there's talent all over the state. And I think you could take, a lot of the guys that are well known at the SCISA level, put them in a public school setting. They're going to be just as efficient and just as productive, because talent is talent regardless of the level. It's one of the, I've always been a believer of this. If you can play, they'll find you, right? It's no different when you talk about this thing. If you can play, you can play. If you can play in SCISA, you can play in the high school league, and vice versa. And we've had guys that, in my 3 years here, there have been guys that have left SCISA school or high school league schools and come to SCISA that maybe didn't have the numbers or the playing time at the high school level, and they were superstars for us. We had a guy last year that played on Ridgeview's team and got minutes for them. I mean, was in the rotation. His stats were, marginal because of the amount of minutes he played. He came to us and played first 1 year, Tristan McCleary, and he was an all-region player, averaged double figures for us, our leading scorer, leading rebounder. If you can play, you can play, regardless of the level, regardless of the school. So I just think, again, it just goes back to just that continual promotion of your kids, regardless of the level and regardless of where they are.
I actually think AAU has helped a school like Heathwood
it does too.
out immensely, because it gives those kids, or it gives a kid at SCISA the opportunity to play AAU and be part of that mix. But then also, if you prove yourself on that level, then you're fine when you go back to, and the narrative of you're not being able to play with the big boys totally is null and void because you've proven yourself on the AAU scene that you can hang. Last question.
All right, what you got?
What's gonna happen in the playoffs?
There's a two-part answer. What I hope happens and what happens could be completely different. I think you know what I hope happens.
What do you expect to happen? What do you expect to happen?
I think it's first of all, it's going to be a great tournament. It is every year. I think, like I said earlier, you can take records, throw them away. I told our team when we finished at Augusta on Thursday, I said, "What is our record now?" And everyone said 0-0. I said, "That's right." And I think you can look at our first year here when we were 7-17 in the regular season, and we go beat a good Lawrence Manning team by 1. And then we go in the quarterfinals and beat a 20-win Porter-Gaud team that was one of the favorites and to advance to the semifinals. And we won 7 games. So I think you can take records out of the equation. It is postseason basketball is all about it's a one-game season, and you know this. But I think what I hope happens is that for our players, we continue to focus. And we have talked about all season, but particularly when we started on this winning streak, we have talked about don't be married to the results, be married to the process. Yeah. And for us,
that's tough. And that's tough for kids.
That's tough for kids. And we have kind of identified our processes: play as hard as you can play, work as hard as you can work, communicate the entire game, the entire practice, be an unselfish teammate all the time, be really disciplined in every aspect of the game, and then execute to the best of your ability. If we can do that, the sky's the limit. Hey, I hope that means we're the last one standing. But, again, it's a one-game season, and it's all about who plays the best during that 32 minutes. We believe in our kids. We've got great kids. They've worked really hard. And like I said, we sure hope that we're going to be the last one standing. But I know that it's a competitive league. It's going to be a competitive tournament. There's good players. There's good coaches all across the state. There is no such thing as a gimme in a state tournament. So we're excited for it. I'm hopeful that we'll find out the brackets here. Probably, I think it's Wednesday. We'll find out. So we'll find out where we're at, but we'll prepare. We're going to prepare to play a good team and multiple good teams. So we'll kind of see where the chips fall and go from there.
I'm sorry. I got actually 2 more questions.
Okay.
The first question is, let's give some love to your players, man, because is it Hunter Collins?
So Hunter's one of our sophomores. Yep, he's a moving.
He's got some good. He's got some good size with him, but not just him. But talk a little bit about your players, because obviously you're a fantastic coach, but you lead some talent to get you to that undefeated season. So talk a little bit about your players.
Well, thank you for the kind words, and it is all about the players with us. I don't grab one rebound. I don't make one basket. I don't make any assists. I fuss the officials every now and then, but we've got just a great collection of talent. What we've said about our group is that we have enough talent. We feel like it could be different guys every night, but I think for us, it starts with our seniors. Henry Morris has been a 3-year starter for us, 6'5", and missed some time early with injuries, but he's playing at an all conference level right now, and it's been really special to watch him kind of become the player that we thought he could be. Deuce Claxton's been a 4-year varsity guy, a 3-year starter. I think he's one of the best shooters in the state. He's one of the all-time, if not the all-time leading 3-point shooter for our team, and just been a steady hand, for our team. Knows knows what's going on. Got a great basketball IQ. Got a great jump shot, great feel. Chip Ravenel missed last year for us towards ACL in football, and has come back and has been a jolt of energy, shooting it at a high clip. He's the one I mentioned going to play football at the next level, the Division III level, but shoots it really well and has just given us some steady shooting. And then Xander Pertile has been a 3-year player for us, started all this year. We've called him kind of the heart and soul of the team, averaging about 8.7 rebounds, but the guy cares about winning, period, end of story. And he exudes it in his play. It permeates to our teammates, to his teammates. But I think you kind of start with our seniors. They just steady the ship. They know what's going on. They know what's expected. They know, how to be successful, and that they've done an unbelievable job. 1, produce on the court, but 2, helping our young guys. And I know, Hunter Collins, you mentioned, is actually our leading scorer coming off the bench. We feel really fortunate that we got a guy that can go in there and fill it up off the bench that, I don't know how many people have, but we're really fortunate we've got a guy like that. We've got 2 8th graders that have been a nice jolt of energy. Jackson Dickerson as a point guard and DJ Scott as a forward. And we've got a whole bunch of guys: Jonah Gardner, Peyton Suter, Charles Cooley, all as sophomores that can come in and give us a jolt. They've all helped us win games. And we mentioned Keon McKinley. Keon, we inserted into the starting lineup, at the start of the year, and he's just been so steady. He's been so steady. He doesn't care about scoring, but he guards. He creates for other guys. And we mentioned that 5th senior, Ryan Feaster, just a great bolt of energy, can really shoot it. Hasn't played a ton because he's been in and out of the lineup with injuries, but and I want to make sure I covered it. But we believe in all 12 of our guys. All 12 of our guys can make us go. They've all, and I don't say that as coach speak. I say that because they've all helped us win games throughout this season. And we always tell them, hey, you got to be ready because your number's going to be called and you got to do your job. And our coaches, our players believe in every one of you. And, so I just, it's all about the players and what they've done for our team. And we love coaching them. They're a fun group to coach. So we hope we can keep it going as long as we can.
Last question. And you're on the Lost Letterman, so no one else would ever ask you this kind of question. Okay. I'm going to ask you regardless. In the current landscape of high school basketball, do you, and I think worry is the wrong word, but for lack of a better word, I should say how concerned, but worry, how concerned. How concerned, worry are you about kids leaving your program?
I think when you look at the landscape.
Or can you coach like that? I guess that, both of those.
It's one of those things that, and you look at the landscape of athletics as a whole, and obviously it starts, and take the professional level out of it because that's a business. But unfortunately, the way college athletics has kind of started to happen from a standpoint of the transfer portal and the NIL, and if I'm not happy, I'm just going to go, go to a different school or whatever. And that's down at the high school level. Certainly, we want all of our kids to stay because we believe in what we're doing as a program. We believe in what we're doing as a school. We believe in what we're teaching these kids. You coach the guys you got. And right now we got the 12 guys on our varsity roster, and we're going to coach that group. And we graduate 5 seniors, so we're going to have 7 coming back, and there'll be some guys from JV coming up. And then, we're going to coach the guys we got on next year's varsity team. It's just one of those things. You coach who you got. And you love them. You love them all the same. You push them all the same. Every kid's different, but you still coach them all the same. You love them all the same. You push them all the same. And you hope that no matter what it is, in the win-loss column, you hope no matter what it is in the stats column that, you build good, strong relationships with your kids so that they come back and say, you know what, win, lose, or draw, coach, he pushed us hard. He taught us a lot. He loved on us. I hope that's what people say about what we do here. I have a wall in my office of a bunch of guys that I coached at the college level at various different places. And I try to organically, we have conversations once a week with all those guys and even the guys not on the wall. And that's really what it's all about. So again, and I know that may or may have not answered your question. I know that's a challenge at high school sports today is kids, looking for different things, year in, year out. One thing I always say, and this is not necessarily pertaining to that question per se. It's just about fighting adversity in general. And I got this, and I'm a Georgia football guy. I graduated from there, so I love Kirby Smart. I listen to so much about what he says. One of the things he said that I think is really unique is if you run from hard, you're going to find more hard. And for us, yes, there's going to be hard moments, no doubt, whether it's you're on a losing streak, whether, you're not playing as much as you want, whether you're struggling academically. There's going to be hard things that happen when you play high school athletics. Our hope is that we help you through it. We help you work through it. We help teach you, and that you come out on the other side better for it. So that's what our hope is. And we're going, like I said, we're going to love and coach the guys that we got year in, year out, no matter what they got going on.
Yeah, I don't think that question actually probably pertains to you as much as it would pertain to other coaches, because I don't see a kid going from. I don't see a kid's parent going from Heathwood to another school, but it's always I'm always that's so selfishly ask that question because I'm always interested to see how kind of coaches are feeling and how much they actually think about things like that.
Do.
Because it's hard to coach. It's hard to
is.
coach when you're thinking about that in the back of your mind. You know what I mean?
100%. And it is. Coaching has changed so much from when I started 18 years ago. And obviously, I'm still a rookie at this high school deal, if you will, right? But coaching is coaching, no matter the level. But yes, it has changed, and it will continue to change. And I think it's our job as coaches to evolve with it. You've heard the saying: you either evolve or you get left behind, and that's just part of the nature of coaching, right or wrong. But we just got to keep evolving with it and working through it. But yeah, it is what it is, and I hate it, but we just got to keep at it and keep doing what we think is best for the kids and for the teams.
Cool. Coach Benatar, thank you. You have any questions for us, man? Do you want to say anything else?
No, man. Well, I follow along, and when I took the job, one of the first things I wanted to do was, hey, who are the South Carolina hoop heads? Who are the guys that I want to connect with over the course of my time here? Because obviously, the plan is we're going to hang out here for quite a while. We love living in Columbia. Thank you for what you do. I know you do a heck of a job with your platform and promotion of the kids and the coaches and the different people that have been involved in high school basketball in the state and the history of it. And it's always fun to hop on and do things like this and talk ball and talk coaching and share great stories. I mean, I think, like I said, I think I've said it 100 times. The coaching world is so small. We talked about the Kenny McKinley connection there. Yeah, it's just thank you for what you do. And I know that you probably don't get enough thanks, but I know I speak for myself, and I'm sure I speak for a lot of coaches that thank you for doing what you do. And providing this platform to help kids, help coaches, help programs. Just keep at it, man. And obviously, like I said, I'm here to help in any way I can. I think we're all, as much as we want to beat each other's brains in when we're in between those lines, it's all about helping these kids and working together. So I appreciate what you do, man. And let's keep at it. Let's keep getting better.
Well, I appreciate that. And like I always tell the coaches, man, it's a fraternity, but it is a contact sport. So every now and then you're gonna get some contact. But right. I will say this: the last time I was in Columbia, I was at one of my favorite libraries on Main Street, and I mentioned I was talking to a couple, and kids went to Heathwood. And I mentioned that I knew you, man. They lit up, man. So you must be doing you must be doing something well there at Heathwood, man. So
I'm trying, man.
I had to name drop to make sure they knew I was okay.
No, but just make sure you just try to make an impact on those kids. Even, I mean, I do 2 or 3 laps a day around the upper school. I need to do a better job of getting in front of the middle school, but just try and make an impact on those kids. That's what coaching is. I mean, I've already told the lacrosse guys I'll be there on the field screaming, cheering for you guys because you guys came and cheered for us. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna repay the favor, and even the guys that play football, baseball, whatever it is. How can we be helpful? How can we serve you? How can we make your experience better?
Well, you know what? The best way to take it to a different level is to win that state championship in the next 2 weeks.
That's what happens. We sure hope that's what happens.
Well, Coach, enjoy Virginia and much respect to you, and do the best that you guys can do, and best of luck in the journey in the next 2 weeks.
Thanks, Todd. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Yes, sir. CD.
What's going on, my man?
Man, are you on? Or where's your camera?
I thought I had my camera on.
I can't see you. If I would have known that, I would have brought you on earlier.
That's because over there. I am.
What's going on, man?
Man, I'm just trying to make it. Just trying to make it.
You're not in China?
No. Trying to limit those trips a little bit more than I have in the past.
You keep going over there to China, man. They're gonna keep you in China.
So when I come back.
Lost letter, man. We got the pen in the building tonight. Chris Deering if your camera was on, I would have brought you on with the coach, man.
That's
but
man,
I
thought it was on.
No, you're coming off. Talk a little bit about that last game, man, because it seemed like BJ Brown, man. Shout out to Brian's son, Kaufman Road Park representing. BJ put 48 points on. Was it Westwood?
Westwood, yes.
So speak a little bit about that. Speak a little bit about that, the performance.
You know, and the crazy thing about it, Todd, he could have had 55, 56.
Oh my God!
he missed some that I know he wants to get back. But in the second half, you know, I thought Westwood did a really good job on him in the first half and limited what he was doing. But in the second half, he just took over. I mean, he put the team on his back. Sumter trailed most of the second half, was able to tie it up there at the end, and we went to overtime. And, you know, it's been all over social media, the basket that he made at the buzzer. And it was definitely good. I went back and watched the clock on our telecast. You know, he got the rebound off the missed shot, went coast to coast and laid it in at the buzzer. And just to cap off a great performance by him, gave Sumter a really big, you know, a shot in the arm going into the playoffs. Because I think that 5A Division I lower state is wide open. I don't think you have a dominant team down there. You have a West Ashland, you have a Cane Bay, but man, you look at that 5A Division I upper state, Ridgeview, Dutch Fork, Burns, Dorman, Clover. Man, come on, that thing is loaded. You got landmines all over the place. So I think that's a shot in the arm to Sumter. And you know, that team, I had not seen them play this year until Friday night. Seen BJ play a couple times, BJ Brown, but they got some shooters. They got some kids that get in there and just mix it up. The quarterback off of the football team, I thought he gave them a big boost. He gave them sort of a toughness in the second half. Franklin Richardson, he came in and, you know, battled underneath, battled on the glass, and doesn't want to shoot the ball that much. He just is in there banging away.
That's what football players do for you. They don't want to shoot. They just want to bang.
Right. And so I thought that was a big difference in the game, too, him coming in, giving them some positive minutes. And that was just I'll tell you, so I was thinking about this yesterday, actually. You know, we had some games this year. In my whole career, I've probably only been at 3 or 4 games that ended up with a running clock. We had 4 games this year, I think, that had a running clock on our television broadcast. And to finish it with the way we did.
Hold on. What does that mean? Like, they don't, like when they call it, what does that running clock mean?
If you're shooting free throws, the clock's running. It's just like in football.
Why would they do that?
In basketball, if you get a 40-point lead in the second half, it's automatic.
Okay.
It's automatic. It's the running clock. Coaches can agree to do it sooner. I don't think many of them agree to do it sooner. But if it gets to a 40-point lead in the second half, it's a running clock. And it don't matter if it gets back down to 30, the clock's running. I mean, it just is what it is. That's why I saw Gray Collegiate's score against Gilbert. I think it was Thursday night. They won 109-22. So obviously you had a running clock in the second half. I don't know how you score 109 points with a running clock in the second half. They must have not missed. They must have shot about 90% is all I can think. We had 4, like I'm pretty certain we had 4 games with running clocks this year. But to finish it off with that Sumter Westwood girls game that Westwood won, it was a really good game. And then the overtime Sumter win in the boys game, that was a great way to go out. I mean, that was a great game, a great atmosphere. It was a big crowd. You saw the kids storm the court when BJ made the shot. So that was just exciting to be a part of. Somebody said on Twitter, I think it was our good friend Thomas Grant. He said, I gave it my best Dick Vitale impersonation because all I could do for 5 seconds was scream. I couldn't even come up with words. Kudos to my buddy Stacy for talking us through that one because I was celebrating with everybody else.
That's crazy. So CD, man, you've seen a lot of high school, way more high school basketball than I've seen. Who are you excited to see in the playoffs? And I'm going to give you my spiel.
So again, that 5A Division I, I just named it. I think the upper state bracket, like I said, Ridgeview, I think they have to be the team to beat going into this thing. But Dutch Fork's been good this year. They are really playing at a high level. They got a kid, Justice Bell, who's really good. Burns in the upstate. They're fantastic. The Fowler kid, people I think underestimate him a good bit, but he can play. And he can play with anybody. Dorman and Thomas Ryan, they're there year in and year out. So I think there's that upper state's gonna be fun to watch. Not sure he's gonna come out of the lower state. Like I say, there's some teams that I don't know much about. West Ashley, Ashley Ridge, Carolina Forest. But I'll put this Sumter team up against anybody. And then, looking at other brackets, 4A, I mean, I think, again, the favorite is Gray Collegiate right here in town. I think they have a really good chance. Deion Bethea coming back to coach them. They have a really good chance to win another state championship. They're balanced. They're loaded. They got a lot of pieces to put it together. Looking forward to seeing them play. And their biggest challenger might be a region foe in North Augusta. So that's gonna be a good move.
All right, Chris. I got to stop you.
Okay. What you got?
You're on the Lost Letterman, so man, we're not doing this political. This is not the state newspaper. Okay. This is what we think. And I just got off the phone with Gigi. Apologies, he couldn't be here with us tonight. Ridgeview will not be tested in 5A. It won't even be close. I don't think anyone will come within 10 points of them. The only thing that I think, the only way they get tested is because it won't be until the lower, like the semifinals or the finals. The only way they get tested is if a team slows the ball down. And I remember Coach Tim Whipple said something to me, man. I'll never forget he said this. He was talking about playing Eau Claire back in like the 90s. He said, man, I would never play Eau Claire in the rock pit. But when we get in the Coliseum, we can play them because the court is longer.
Yeah.
And if you play them on a college court, even though they've got the most talent in South Carolina, you can spread them out. Mm-hmm. But if you play them on a regular high school court, you don't have a chance. That's the only way I think a team will have an opportunity to beat Ridgeview is if they get in the CLA and they go 5 wide and they have a phenomenal point guard who can control everything. That's the only way. And then they still probably won't have a chance, but that's the only way I think they could get beat.
I don't know. I was looking up their schedule right here.
They only got beat once.
Westwood beat them.
Yeah, let me tell you why they beat them.
They shot the lights out.
But let me tell you why they beat them. And they still, and you got to give Westwood credit because they beat them. Man, I'm not discrediting Westwood. Ridgeview had been in Ohio for a whole week before that. And they played 3 games back to back to back, and 3 tough games. And they won that tournament. I think it was Tennessee. I think it was Tennessee, the Arby's Classic. Tennessee. And I wasn't surprised they got beat because after having, and it was at the end of Christmas. It was at the end of Christmas, basically. Yeah. So they won that tournament. And I said, man, that's a bad turnaround for them because those guys are not physically tired, but they're mentally tired after winning that game. And they just probably didn't have the game. And again, Jaden Cruz, Coach Robinson, they got a phenomenal team over there.
They do.
But I said to myself, man, Richard's going to blow them out the next time they play them. And they did. They did blow them out.
Westwood out. But they only beat Blythewood by 12 on Friday night.
They took the air out of the ball.
And you just said teams are going to have to do that if they want to keep them close. I'm telling you.
I think beating them by 12 the other night is like beating them by 24. Well, but you know it is.
I do agree with you. Ridgeview's not going to be challenged in the first round. They're not going to be challenged in the second round.
I don't think they're going to be challenged any round. I think they're going to walk through it. They're going to beat every team by at least 10 points. Every team by at least 10 points. Mark it down.
I'm going to write it down.
We're having mark it down. We're having the after party at the Moxie on Main Street.
Well, please tell me you coming that weekend. Are we being class?
Yes. That's the Lost Letterman holiday party that weekend. Okay. But my other thing is, and I was talking to Coach Cooper today. Again, Lost Letterman. This is, we're going to tell you what we feel. The 4A state championship is not going to be at the CLA this year.
It should be in the semifinals.
It's going to be in Florence.
Yeah, that's it.
And unfortunately for Gray, they're going to have to probably play Wilson in Florence for that game.
And Wilson's
that's going to be a tough game.
Wilson's going to pack the place out. I did see Wilson.
That's going to be a tough game.
And Josh Leonard's a handful. I mean, make no doubt about it.
Yes, KJ Allen and Gamble, like they got a bunch of good guys, man. A bunch of good guys.
But
and Coach English is a good coach too.
Yeah, that's very true. But I think I can agree with you on that one. Again, don't count out North Augusta. I've seen them a couple times. You don't like North Augusta, okay?
No. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why before people. Let me tell you why, CD. Gray's already beat North Augusta twice, right? Composure and discipline is a big part of basketball.
No disagreement from me. But I also thought last year, I did not think North Augusta could beat Gray Collegiate. And they did. And I know circumstances.
What's the difference between this year and last year? What's the difference between this year and last year?
The head coach.
There we go. I don't think, and I know they're going to get pushed because they're going to have to play. If North Augusta if they play, they're going to have to play at Gray, right? I believe because I think the only
bracket real quick because
I think the only outside game is in Florence. I think the only one.
That's true. The only one that's the outside game is in Florence.
Yeah, I don't think that North Augusta thinks they can beat Gray.
Well, that might be the case because I did see that game. The first time they played at Gray was back in December, and
I don't think they've got the composure to beat
it was
Gray.
Not that close.
Well, I could be wrong.
Let's see when they will play. You're right. They would play at Gray Collegiate in the third round.
No.
And
they wouldn't be. And I love Jordan Rouse, man. Jordan Rouse is a hell of a player. Hell of a player.
Who?
He's a hell of a player. Jordan Rouse, one of the kids at North Augusta, man. And obviously, we love Deron Dunbar, who was there last year, man. And we love that whole North Augusta. But I just don't think, man, composure is a big part of and with Dion and the rest of those guys over there, like even being able to play, Ridgeview, and that's also the reason I think Ridgeview is so good. It's not because they've got great talent. There's no doubt about that. But again, they've played in so many big games. And you know this. you can see it. The kids who have played in really, really big games, playing in the CLA, playing in those bigger arenas, it doesn't phase them like kids who are not as accustomed to playing in those bigger time environments.
That's a true statement. But let's cut to the chase for one other thing. Because we all
so I didn't cut to the chase on that.
I am so glad that we're playing the state championships back in Columbia at the CLA. It just makes the most sense of any decision I've seen this year.
I think I know who had a good piece of that happening. I think I know somebody who had a good piece of that happening. But man, I mean, to me, and again, this is coming from somebody who never even made the playoffs, man. So, like kids, when you dream in South Carolina, and you played in the state championship, right? At Williams-Brice.
Yes.
When you dreamed as a kid of playing in a state champion, did you dream of being in Aiken?
No,
did you dream
exactly.
like you dream about playing in a big arena? So man, I just think that it only makes sense, to me.
And
to me,
again, like you said, I played in the state championship. I played at Williams-Brice. I had no aspirations of playing college ball. I wasn't that good. I mean, I was just cut to the chase. But to have the opportunity to play in the big stadium, even though we got it handed to us, it's something I will never forget. A lot of these kids, we talk about the guys that's going to the next level and going to play it in college. There's a lot of guys,
but that's like 3%.
Yeah.
That's 3% of the guys.
And for them to have the opportunity to get in the big arena, and I hope people come out and support it. It's right here central in the city. I know the Thursday and Friday day games are not ideal. I get it. But just come out and support these kids, man. Make it an event, make it happen, fill that place up. And I think, depending on what teams get there, that'll play a factor in how big it is. But I hope it's what everybody expects. And I'm just glad it's back in Columbia. I hate burning that road up on I-20 getting from here to Florence. So I can go 10 minutes from my house now, and I'm right there. So that makes a big difference.
Yeah, and again, man, it's not like I'm a Columbia homer or anything, but I just know that, man, when you're young, you dream about certain things. You know what I mean? And like none of your dreams have like Aiken, and I love Aiken, man. I've been to Aiken. They got horses down there. It's fun. Like a New York person, they wouldn't dream about being in South Carolina. You know what I mean? Like it's just so you dream about certain things, and man, and I don't know the obviously there's some economics involved, so I don't know that part of it. Yeah. But it's just you hate it for. You just want, even if it's at Clemson, man, and even if, you just want it to be in a big arena, a big time environment where Hoosiers, where you measure the rims and you come in and like, man, this is what I put all my work in for.
And I know,
and you got big time people like you and Stacey Huff calling the game. You see them like, man, these guys are stars.
I know you had, and I know Bailey Harris came on your show and talked about bringing it back to Columbia.
Coach Harris is probably pissed off at me. Well, excuse me, he's probably upset with me because that was like a snippet, and I cut it out and made it and just kept running it.
He wasn't wrong. I've gone to that Florence Civic Center or whatever. That might not be the official name of it. The Florence Center, I think it is. Year after year after year, and I hear the same thing from the coaches. The sight lines are bad in this building. The lighting is bad in this building. It's not a basketball arena. And that's where you were playing your state championships. I mean, I just don't get it.
And you know what? I'll take it a step further. For the state, and might be too much a little lost Letterman, but for the state, man, put a DJ in there for the starting five, hype it up, man. Let the kids feel it, man. Let them get it. Because if everybody brought Ridgeview's environment, man, it would be like colossal in there. You know what I mean? Like, because it's a big arena, so you need some energy. You know what I mean? You need energy, and the play itself is probably not going to be like. This is a funny thing, and I hate to digress on this, but when we were doing the what's the thing we did in Shandon?
In what?
Oh, the showdown in Shandon.
Oh, yeah,
we were doing a showdown in Shandon. We had the guy who was DJing at Carolina, and I was talking to him, and I said, "What do you do at South Carolina?" He was telling me like the stuff he does normally. I said, "Do the exact opposite here. Just do the exact opposite." I said, "Man, the game isn't," and I wasn't talking about the Ridgeview game, but it was another game. I said, "The game isn't exciting enough. You got to get it going. You know what I'm saying? You got to get it going." And I hope that they do something to kind of get it going, because the game itself typically ain't gonna be that as exciting enough, because it's kids play high school.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But anyway, I don't know.
I'm just looking for.
I probably won't even be there. I said I probably won't even be there for those games, but just my ideas.
Well, again, I should be there for all 12. And again, Thursday and Friday is not ideal, and I know people complain about playing it in the day, but you look across the United States, it happens in every state. Just like you said, make it an event, make it where people want to go, and you and I are basketball guys. We go on regardless. Make it for the casual fan who wants to go. And make the effort to get down there and
one other team I do want to give props to is C.A. Johnson High School.
If anybody beats them, I'm gonna be very shocked.
Yeah, because honestly, they're the only team, and no disrespect to Westwood. I know Westwood beat Ridgeview, so you can't discredit that. They're the only team in South Carolina that has been close, other than Westwood, to Ridgeview this whole year. So man, they only lost, if I'm mistaken, they only lost by 1 point. So
they did take them to the wire,
and obviously C.A. Johnson's a 1A school, and they played them at Ridgeview and lost by 1 point, if I'm not mistaken. Correct. So man, shout out to them. And those are my only two locks for the state championship. C.A. Johnson will win their classification, and it probably won't be close. And Ridgeview will win their classification, and it will not be close.
I'm going with Ridgeview's going to win. I think it's going to be closer than you think. C.A. Johnson, I think, is going to steamroll through the Class A bracket and not really be challenged.
Okay. All right. Well, we agree then. We just don't agree on the magnitude.
Correct.
We just don't agree on the magnitude. So let me get one more question before I get you out of here, because I know your time is valuable, and this is a sports business or journalism question. What's your take on the landscape of journalism now? Because you see so many, obviously with the Washington Post and everything that went on there, and just how things are changing on that end. And even with people like me, I'm not helping things out. People have their own platforms, and it's just it's cutting to the more traditional journalism.
So how long you got?
What's your take on it? What's your take on it?
Because you're getting ready to get me on the soapbox.
Hey, this is a lost letter, man. You can keep going. You can just keep going, and I'll cut it off. I'll cut my portion off. You can just keep going.
And so, to be transparent before I answer this question, and this comes up more often than you think, I am not a full-time journalist.
Well, I know that. I already know that. Yeah.
That might be listening do not know that. So I think I look at it through a little bit different lens than Lou Bajak or somebody that's in it. That's their career. And what happened at the Washington Post was very unfortunate. I had a friend of mine who actually used to work here at the state newspaper. He was part of those layoffs. I talked to him the week that it happened. He said he saw it coming. He wasn't surprised. And I think that is the landscape of where sports journalism is going. Because let's just face facts. The biggest cost for a long time was printing a paper. There's a lot of cost in printing a paper. People don't print a paper anymore. Does anybody print a paper 7 days a week anymore? I don't think so. Some areas, I think Seattle don't even have a newspaper. Everything's online. Where's your next biggest cost? It's your employees and providing benefits for them, and 401ks and medical and dental and vision and all this. You cut that out, and it becomes my world. Everything's on a freelance basis. There's no full-time writers. You can shop yourself around at that stage of the game. I think that's where we're heading. I could be wrong. That's Chris Deering's personal opinion. No one's told me that. But in the back of my mind, Todd, I'm getting old. That's my retirement plan. It is, by the time I'm ready to retire, I think the landscape of media is going to be where I can go to the state newspaper, or I can go to ESPN.com and shop my services around and say, hey, I cover this for you for X amount of dollars. You don't have to send somebody here. You don't have to put somebody on a plane to get them here. Matter of fact, I joined something the other day. Keep it a little bit behind the scenes. I joined something the other day where, just say Texas comes to Williams-Brice Stadium and plays South Carolina in football. There's a site that these editors can go to and find people locally that can cover the game. I'm sure they could do their due diligence and make sure this person's legit and has a history, but they don't have to put somebody on a plane. They don't have to pay for hotel accommodations. They don't have to pay for food. They don't have to pay for car rental. They can pay me a flat fee, and I'll cover a game for them and maybe do just as good a job as the person they can send here from Austin, Texas.
Well, if I'm hearing you correct, Chris, and I appreciate your transparency. What you're saying is journalists need to be more proactive and have a more business mindset, as opposed to a reactive, 401k type mindset.
Correct, and I don't know the full extent of this, but I do know the state paper employees, they have and I might be using the wrong word here when I say union. They have something that does protect them. Because again, I just think this is where we're heading. And I hope I'm not making anybody upset or mad out there. That's just been my personal opinion. I've shared it with
all you got to do is have eyes. All you got to do is have eyes to see that.
Yeah. I've shared it with several people. And again, I just think that's where everything is heading. And it's gonna make some people just walk away totally, 100%. They're just going to walk away, and it's going to open up opportunities for other people. But a second part of your question is, and I had this conversation again last week with somebody. The way things are covered today, as opposed to 37 years ago when I started, we didn't have Lost Letterman out here 37 years ago.
You did. I was just hooping it.
and again, I'm looking towards retirement. I'm closer to retirement than I'm not. Yeah. And what can I do? I'm not ready to walk away. I think I still got something to give in the media world, and I do it. I'm not doing it for Chris Deering. I do it because I love promoting these kids. I love promoting what they do. I love promoting these coaches who take the time to coach these kids. But what's the platform? Is it me and you joining together? Is it Chris Deering starting his own website? Is it? I think the opportunities are endless. I just got to figure out what it is.
Well, and I've had this conversation with you on multiple occasions, and man, the amount of respect I've got for you, Thomas, Kyle, what's the guy down in Florence? What's his name?
Scott Chansey.
Well, Scott too, but the other guy.
I call him the mayor of Florence.
Kyle
Gibbs.
Yeah, Kyle. Man, and like me, I do it, but I can be in and out, man. You know, I could not even touch anything in a month, and you probably wouldn't even know. But I've got so much respect for you guys because, man, you love the game. You know what I mean? I like it, but you guys love it, man, and you live it, man. So and I've told you this so many times. I've got so much. Even I know you have another job. I know you have another job, but man, I've got so much respect. But you know, I'm always intrigued because I'm a business person. I'm always intrigued by the business aspect of it, and I see it because I listen to Richard Deitch. I listen to Andrew Marchand. I listen to a lot of national people, and they're always talking about, you know, the way the game is changing. And I see it on a local level too. And I just saw some other people who left the business, and I'm always intrigued as to kind of what people are thinking. But the last thing that I want to mention is it Prep Hoops? Prep
Red Zone. I'm on the football side of things.
Man, you guys
on the basketball side.
You guys are building an army on that football side, man. You guys had some new additions, right?
We just added, and now Kyle from the Aiken area.
That's what Kyle from the Aiken area. From the Aiken area.
I call him the Beard because he's got that great full beard. I can't even think of his last name right now, but yeah, we just added Kyle to the mix. He actually, again, he resigned from the Aiken Standard. He's no longer with them. He's looking for he's got some other opportunities that I know of, and I'll let him tell it. I'm not going to tell it. But he did join us at Prep Red Zone, and you know that was a much needed void that we had in our coverage. I had to take over that CSRA area last season.
Oh,
man,
so you're driving down there.
And now the biggest void we have in our system is we don't have anybody in the Charleston area. So if we could fill that void, we would have every pocket of the state covered. And I think what we're doing is worthwhile. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't be behind it if I didn't think it was worthwhile. A matter of fact, when I log off here, I'm getting ready to work on a story that'll be up on the website, I think, on Wednesday. We're promoting kids. We're ranking kids. We're evaluating kids. We're going to the combines. We're talking to coaches. We're doing all our due diligence to try to make it, worth everybody's time and effort to join us. We have the biggest football staff in the state. There's nobody that can compete with us. I mean, we have more people with more years in the system than any other media outlet in South Carolina.
Well, that's why I said that because, man, and in football, again, you have to be at the games. That you can't do that you got to have somebody at the games.
Yeah.
So that's why I give what you guys are doing all the respect in the world. And football is huge. Obviously, basketball is huge in South Carolina, but football is a different animal. But you've got to be at those games. You got to be in Charleston. You've got to be in Abbeville. You've got to be at all those games. So man, you guys have gotten fantastic coverage for all those different pockets of South Carolina. So kudos to you all, and you guys do a lot of great write-ups.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and we try. I think we got a really good crew, and again, we're very experienced. I'm 37 years. Jed Blackwell's right at 30, or a little bit over 30. Ian Guerin is right at 30. Kyle now he's on board. I think he's at 18. Scott Keeler in the upstate, he's been doing it for forever. Brandon Stockdale, he's our young buck. But man, he's learning and he's doing a great job, and coaches respect him, and he's got that Rock Hill area on lockdown. I don't think anybody covers that area better than he does. So yeah, I think we're doing it right, and we're doing it the way it needs to be done.
Last question for you, CD. I know you're a Gamecock man through and through. I know you're a Gamecock man. What are your thoughts on Carolina football next year?
So I think this is the way I'm gonna answer this. I did not expect 4-8 this past season. I thought it was gonna be a little bit better than that. I was not one of those people going into the season that thought South Carolina was gonna be in the playoff. I didn't think they had enough pieces. I thought they lost too much on that defense to be a playoff contender, but I thought 7 or 8 wins was not out of the question with that schedule they played. Did not expect 4-8. They went to the portal. They got a lot older. I don't know if they got better, but they got a lot older, especially on that offensive line. And I think that was the biggest thing that hurt them last year, was unable to protect Lenoris, and that made Lenoris probably make some decisions that he didn't want to make. I don't have any. I'm not going to sit here today, and what is today, February 15th, and tell you South Carolina's going to be a playoff contender next year. I do think they win between 6 and 8 games. I think that's enough to keep Shane Beamer as the head football coach. Because I'm going to tell you, Jeremiah Donati, the athletics director, he's in a tough spot. You got men's basketball not winning. You got baseball who's not winning. And if you go into football season again and don't win, this could be hard to replace 3 coaches in 1 calendar year at your 3 main men's sports. And somebody might have to stay just out of the financial piece of it.
Just the economics.
Yeah, you can't pay everybody off. So I like Shane. I think what he's doing is a good thing, but he is 6 years in now.
Is it 6 years? Damn,
this will be a 6th year. So wow. It's no longer let's talk about it. Let's do it. The excuses have run thin with the fan base. Let's hope Kendall Briles is the right answer at offensive coordinator. That is one thing that I heard on a radio show this week. Out of the top 35 quarterbacks in that class when Lenoris came in, I think he's one of 3 that's still at their original school, but now he's on his 3rd offensive coordinator in his time there. So that makes a difference. I mean, people don't think that makes a difference, but that makes a huge difference. And, I hope he's learning Briles' system. I think it's going to be a little bit different than what we saw last year. And I mean, hell, it can't be any worse, because that offense was tough to watch a lot of times last season. So hopefully the offensive line's better. The running game's got to be better. The receivers have to be better. And if I didn't think the defense played bad for the most part last year. There were 1 or 2 times where they didn't play that great, but for the most part, I thought they gave the team a chance to win, and the offense just did not do their part.
Oh man, it's tough times, man. tough times in the metro, man. But
it is like for the men's sports, it's tough. It's I don't know if you saw it. I retweeted it yesterday. Paul Maneri, the baseball coach, said his baseball team was tired. Game 3, you got 56 games, my man, and you tired already. You got to figure something out.
Yeah. He might have wanted to keep that one to himself.
That was a very poor answer, I think, to whatever question was asked of him. But guess what? Northern Kentucky played 18 innings the day before as well.
Is that who you all were playing?
Huh?
Is that who you all were playing, Northern Kentucky?
Yeah, they played a doubleheader on Friday because of the weather situation today. Carolina won both games on Friday. Won the second one with the walk-off home run in the ninth. And then yesterday, they apparently did not take BP on the field. They took it in the cages because Maneri said the players wanted to try to preserve their legs and not be overly tired after playing 18 innings the day before. These kids grew up playing 6 games on the weekend. I don't know how 18 innings are making you tired, but
Well, I'm definitely not a football person. But it would seem like if the football gets rectified, the rest of it is okay. You know what I mean? You can kind of deal with the rest of subpar and the rest of it. But football is big in at least, and correct me if I'm wrong, football is big in Columbia.
It is.
Am I mistaken by saying it is the big thing, man? It drives. You can understand Saturdays and Sundays. You can kind of tell when the team is playing well and the team is not playing well. So it drives the economy. You know what I mean? It drives the economy in Columbia.
This city is different when South Carolina wins, and I've been here almost 40 years now. And I've seen them win, I've seen them lose, and this city is definitely different when they win.
And I actually think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, Chris, because I don't follow Carolina really at all. But the football team, not this past year, but the one before that, I think they actually probably did better than most people thought they were going to do, which hurt last year's team because the expectations were so high. You know what I mean? The expectations were based off of maybe a false sense of reality.
You're right, because in 2024 that team won their last 6 games of the season. They were sitting at the crossroads at 3-3, coming off a tough loss at Alabama, a game that they probably should have won, and then they didn't lose again in the regular season. So I think that was unexpected by a lot of people, and that set expectations really high. And what happened is you had Lenoris coming back, you had a Nick Harden coming back, you had a Dylan Stewart coming back, and people latched on to those 3. But again, you lost a lot on that defensive side of the football. Guys that are playing on Sunday now.
Yeah,
that's hard.
And you know what? A person like me who doesn't know football, we only look at the star players. We look at Lenoris, those other 2 guys who you mentioned. But football is so much in the trenches where the common person doesn't really understand it. And if you don't really have that solved, then I don't know football, man, but I know Shane Beamer, man. He's got a special something with him that those players, he can, he's got a certain soul to him. So I actually root for him. But it kind of like Bill Parcells said, you are what your record is.
You are what your record is. And the fact, what you just said, the fact that he kept those 3 guys because they had opportunities to go other places and play for national championships. But the fact that he kept those guys, and again, I know NIL money and everything else plays a part of it. You got to give them the right package. I think that speaks volumes for the type of person Shane Beamer is. They want to be here, I think.
I would have been out. I would have been out. I would have been out. But just I like South Carolina. I don't love it.
When Dylan Stewart did not follow his position coach to LSU, because I think every South Carolina fan out there thought that was going to happen. And kudos to Jordan Kay at the state newspaper. He got Dylan Stewart on record as saying he knows what he's got at South Carolina. He don't know what he has at LSU or Ohio State or wherever. So he knows what he's got here in Columbia. And he knows he's only here one more year. He's going to the league after this.
Yeah. Well, CD, man, we agree on everything. The only thing we did not agree on was the margin of winning for Ridgeview.
I think Dorman and or Burns would give Ridgeview a good game. Mark it down. Mark it down. I got yours down. Get mark mine down.
What's a good game? You think it'll be under 10 points?
I mean, yeah, I think, a 2 to 3 possession game at the end.
Okay. Dorman finished 5th in the tournament that Gray won this past Christmas.
I understand.
Okay.
But I'm not counting Thomas Ryan out in the playoffs either. I've seen him do it.
Is he playing? Is he playing? And does he have PJ Hall with him? Is PJ Hall playing?
And we didn't touch on Keenan.
What'd you say?
We did not touch on Keenan tonight, but when Zach Norris was on the sideline, I never counted Zach Norris out either.
You know what, man? I love Zach Norris, man. You know why? That guy I saw him coaching in Atlanta this past summer. And I know, he's been in the game for a while, man.
Forever.
His energy level was so high. It was like, and this is just a nondescript summer game. Nobody was there. It was on one of the B courts. His energy was like he was coaching a state championship game.
Yeah. He's the same no matter what. And
yeah,
I think it's a shame to what happened with him this season. We will see what happens in the future.
Tell him to come on here.
I think he's been instructed not to say anything. I've talked to him.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. But Chris, man, thanks so much for joining, and I will see you in the CLA, man.
Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to it, and we will definitely keep up during these playoffs, especially if Ridgeview gets tested.
Count on it. Have a good night.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
All right. Hey man, I know you're a superstar, but you don't just show up when you want to show up, man.
Man, Coach, I was in the waiting room for about 15 minutes. I was like, man, I go back and check the messages. I had to go back and check the messages. I was like, man, am I late?
Man, you see,
so I was here 15 minutes.
These cats are winning all these games. And they just think they can do whatever they
Come on
want
now,
to do.
coach. Come on now. Come on now, coach. Come on, coach.
Hey,
Come on, coach.
you know what? I love you, man. I'm not a coach. I am not a coach. I'm not a coach.
You be on the sideline, man. I see you on the sidelines, though. I see you on the sideline. I saw a picture of you on the sideline, so I don't know.
Well, I'm special now. I didn't say I was special. I just said I ain't a coach. So, we got Coach. Is it, man? Anton? Is it Anton?
It's Antoine.
Well, that's not how it's spelled, though.
Yeah, I know, man. Blame my uncle. Blame my uncle. Don't blame me. You know, when I was entering into this world, man, this the name they gave me. That's how they spelled it. You know, you can imagine how I am at Starbucks.
Coach Antoine Wade, man. What's going on, Coach Wade from Fox Creek?
Yes, sir. How you doing today? Thank you for having me, too.
Oh, thank you for joining, man. Let's go ahead and chop it up, man. Fox Creek, we got Kobe, and we got Justin, we got RJ. Let's talk a little bit about the season. How's the season gone thus far?
Season been going pretty good. We end up winning the region. First time winning the region in 4A. Well, 3A. Sorry, we're going 4A next year. But first time winning the region in 3A. Lost it last year in 2A. Chance Allen, Kobe Sims, Justin Vonnon, Randy Robinson, just to name a few of our guys. But they've been playing well. And we had 5 guys averaging double figures this season. Region champs, like I said. Overall, 20-5. Finished the region 8-1 with 1 game losing to Keenan.
All right. Well, as I've told you before. Hold on. Let me pull it up. 3A.
Uh-oh.
You guys have a college backcourt from right?
I believe so. Yes, sir.
What do you think about the tournament? Because obviously OW is number 1 seed. Christ Church, shout out to John Butler, friend of the show, a teammate of the Lost Letterman way back in the day, my man Spoonie. So he's doing this thing up at Christ Church.
Heck of a coach.
Heck of a coach. You want some kids? You have John Butler be your dad, man. He'll make a 7-footer.
Right.
He'll make a 7-footer.
I think he had those twins, right? Had those twins. Yeah.
Yeah. Mountain Prep is at the bottom, but I'm gonna go back to one game in particular with you guys.
Okay.
You all played Burns, if I'm not mistaken, right? The shootout.
Yeah, we played them twice. We played them played them 1 week, and then we played them again in the tournament. Like we played them we played them at Burns, and then we played them at Lexington.
Right. And talk about what you guys learned during those games.
One is, we have to defend better. During that first game, I think the score was like 106-98 or something like that. So, and closing games, we was up in the fourth quarter.
Which is that's crazy for high school.
Yeah. It went in overtime. So, just teaching our guys about being patient and clock management as well. So, learned a lot about that.
Well, my bigger question for that, with such a strong backcourt, I would think that you guys wouldn't have any problems closing games out. And obviously, you've done well in the region. Obviously you've done your thing in the region. So, do you think the fact that you guys have Justin and Kobe, that's one of your strengths in terms of games?
100%. But also at the same time, we also remember that they're still just juniors. They've been playing varsity their entire life, but they're still kids. So we still have to coach them, not to coach them up. And just like any other kid too, they make mistakes and we coach them up and they fix it. just because they can put the ball in the basket a little bit more. Don't take away from the fact that there's still kids that make mistakes sometimes. But I'm living and dying with those guys for sure.
So let's talk a little bit about the Keenan games, because obviously, man, Keenan is it's a tough place to play too. So talk a little bit about what you learned by playing in that atmosphere.
Yeah, because we played at Fox Creek first. Yeah, so we played at Fox Creek first, and then we went to Keenan. So at Keenan, right before we went to the game at practice, man, we had the music playing really loud, and some of our new guys was looking around like, man, like why are we going so hard at practice, and why is it so loud, and why is this? And I told those guys, and Coach Butler, man, and shout out to Coach Butler, man, he did a heck of a job this year and last year as well. Ended up being Region Coach of the Year, which is a tremendous job to him. But we talked to them about like, hey, this environment is going to be something you never seen before, especially to like our new guys. And we told them, say, hey, when you get over there, it's going to be a lot of people rooting against you. So
no, not a lot of people, everybody.
everybody. We got over there. We had a police escort inside to the locker room. We usually go shoot at halftime of the girls' game, and I remember an officer stopping me like, "Hey, what you doing?" I'm like, "Whoa, I'm a coach," So we went out to shoot, and one of my little cousins, actually, Malik is actually my little cousin, and Malik Brunson, and his little brother was on the baseline, and I heard him calling my name like the entire game. Just, I could distinctly hear his voice. And they had a student section that was over the top. They stood up the entire time. They was yelling. I was like, oh my gosh. So every missed shot, the crowd was roaring. In timeouts, we can barely hear each other. So it was a fun environment too. It was definitely a fun environment.
Do you think that playing in those types of environments, and I know that's not the only one you got in, but playing in those types of environments will help you ultimately as you all, and I'm going to say progress, as you all progress in the tournament, in this tournament coming up this week?
100%. Just to think back to last year, Kobe and Justin, just, being honest, they led the team last year as 10th graders, as sophomores.
Right.
These guys supposed to be on their JV teams, and they're leading, a brand new, 3A school. We're leading a 3A program as sophomores. So we get Dolores, and the environment was 10 times worse. We go to warm up, and I can tell it was a little bit different. Guys had a little bit of nerves, and when we first get there, it was a little crowd. But when we warmed up that second time, it was packed. It was packed to the wall. So I think the nerves kind of got us towards the fourth quarter. We ended up losing that game. I want to say it was 57-52. So we lost that game by 5 points last year. So being in those environments last year, now being in that environment at Keenan, being in that environment at Burns, even in the scrimmage or jamboree at Gray, being in that type of environment, it helped us a lot moving forward. So I think it pushed us over the edge to win the region championship this year.
Man, it's crazy. And I'm gonna sound like an old dude now, but it's crazy. There's nothing that you can kind of prepare you for that because, and I was just talking to Chris Deering about this, who was on before you. Gray and Ridgeview, and I talk about them a lot. And who else would I put in this category? I can't think of anybody. Maybe Dorman. I think they win not just because of their talent, because they've got great talent, but the reason they win, and Lancaster's a little bit like this too, it's their culture. Their kids don't get fazed by the craziness of it. They don't. And I went to a game, and I'm not gonna say where it was, but Lancaster was playing. It was an away game, a playoff game, and I went to it about 2 years ago. And the head coach for the home team was so out of sorts, man. He was so like
Yeah, like if you're not
was
used
so
to it,
crazy.
man, get it right. It'll get you.
And it was his home crowd. And I'm like,
yeah,
they're gonna lose this game because the coach is not under control.
Yeah.
So you can't have the players under control if the coach isn't under control.
right.
And sure enough, I looked at Jay down there coaching Lancaster. He was intense, but he wasn't out of control. And
Yeah.
they ended up walking them down, winning the game, and getting the hell out of that city. But
I'll tell you too,
go
Wes
ahead.
Ashley and James Allen. I went to that
And-
game. Oh
yeah.
my gosh, you know those
Oh, you
guys.
Chuck
they
Town.
coach-
You're
Yeah,
Chuck Town.
those guys with shout out to Coach Trav and
Right.
Coach Trey, with Middleton. Those are directors and coaches.
And I apologize because I'm just gonna be honest. I don't get the Chucktown as much as probably we should. But my greater point, and not just to single Gray and Ridgeview out, but just to say certain programs are used to that environment. So
Just used to it.
in high school, man, that makes a huge difference,
my God.
especially
It's like that
once you start
six-man
getting into the playoffs. Yeah.
It's like that that 6-man crowd, man. You can't beat it. You got some student sections out there. They're running around crazy. You miss one shot. You got a guy out there. He ain't never played basketball a day in his life, knocking down threes, man.
Yeah, but to my point, that's why I think you guys have such an advantage, because as you said, you guys have experienced guards, and it's going to be a real testament. And I know Justin and Kobe want to get to that next level. And
Sure.
kind of in basketball, it is what it is.
Right.
They're going to have to play at a certain level for you guys to get to where, and obviously the whole team is, but
Right.
it starts
for
with
sure,
them.
for sure.
It
Right.
starts with
right.
them.
Because they're the leaders of the team, and
Yeah. So they're going to have to play at a certain level for you guys to keep going, and for them to keep going in their careers to get to where they want to get to. So it's going to be interesting, for me to see and for everybody to see kind of how they progress, not only this year but obviously this summer. But with that being said, can you talk a little bit about AAU, or are you still just
we can. Right. No, we definitely can talk about AAU as well. And to that point with Justin and Kobe as well, I watched them grow throughout the years for sure, and just matured on and off the court, taking the weight room serious. Justin, he's a lot stronger than what he looks. Kobe as well. Kobe as well, and those guys, they stood the test of time.
Right.
We heard it all from them. They was too young, they're too small, they can't lead a team, and now they walked into 3A with a region championship. So for the first time ever. So definitely a shout out to those guys and their parents and coaches as well.
Well, I mean, and again, I'm sitting here talking about they need to do certain things. Hell, you guys are 20-5.
20-5, right? It's like God, like what more can they do? What more can they do? Like when we lost the Birds, people were saying, "Oh man, y'all lost the Birds," and then they look at the score and we had 98 points. It's like, what more do you want? What more do you want?
But as a coach, in this climate, if you're talking about wanting to play at the next level, man, it is tougher now.
It's tough. Oh my gosh.
At any time. So
oh my gosh.
You gotta just keep.
Yeah.
I don't even know what
for sure. And I definitely understand what you're saying too. You just have to keep progressing. And I think with NIL and transfer rules and different things, because I was at USC Aiken for a couple of years. I actually did a stint at Tusculum University before I came to Fox Creek. So I've learned, so I've learned the kind of the ins and outs of the college world, and I try to bring what I've learned to Fox Creek. And I think with the mixture of how Coach Butler coaches and the style of play that we have, I think is bringing us some success as well.
So let's talk a little AAU. So what are your plans for this summer?
This summer, man, I want to take my talents to South Beach. No, I'm just joking, man. But definitely back with Middleton. Definitely back with Middleton Hoops, man. I was going to head coach the 16s again like I did last year. But my plan is, a new group of the 16. So, the new group that's coming up, which would have been the 15s. But my plan is to assist Coach Trey. He's the head coach of the 17s, just to stay with the group that I had. And then I'll recycle the following year if God will. And if Coach Trav will too, he's our director. But if he's allowing me to, definitely want to do that, man. I'll recycle and go back, start with the 8th grade or 9th graders the following year. But Jackson Terrell, he's got a lot of traction throughout the summer and blowing up now. Of course, Kobe, Reese Cannon, he's on that same team as Jackson Terrell. He looks like he grown. They actually straight in the region. Josh Gladden, Josh Gamble. Oh, no, he was a part of that team. Jackson Ross, he's getting a lot of football traction over at Hammond. So a really solid team. And that's just to name a few of the guys, not to leave no one out, but just to name a few of the guys. But yeah, I'm looking at going back.
Oh, Jackson Ross plays with you guys too?
Yeah, Jackson J. Ross. So funny story is what a lot of people don't know is we had to play. We was the number 2 team in EYCL. We had to play Ohio Buckets. If we win versus Ohio Buckets at Josie, we go to the play-in game for Peach Jam. Jackson Ross sprains his ankle at Butler doing warm-ups. Like we do a shoot-around. We try to make it like college. We do a warm-up shoot-around. Bryce Ward, which, Bryce Ward, he's one of the top players in the state as well. Bryce, he's just dribbling the ball. Like maybe second possession of the game, tears his ACL. All the dunking he does, he dunks on people, all these different, he does all these acrobatic moves. Bryce takes a dribble, tears his ACL. My heart drops. So now I'm down my top point guard, Bryce Ward, and Jackson Ross plays the 3, sometimes 4 for me. He sprained his ankle. His ankle the size of a grapefruit, and he wants to still play. So, of course, we had to call on other guys to step up, and they did a great job stepping up. But you know how it is, man. Once 2 of your guys go down, we only had 8 players on the team. So that's what a lot of people don't know. And I think this year, with us being 1 game away from Peach Jam, I'm coming for it this year.
Now, let me ask you this. How do you, and it's just my own ignorance, but how do you all practice? Because all your players are from different areas, right?
From different
areas. Do you
ever
practice?
Right? Yeah, we practice. When I first got here. Yeah, so I'll tell you. So we have guys that's in Charleston, and then we have guys in Florence. At the time, was in Florence, and then we had guys from North Augusta. So what we would do is we would carpool, and we'll meet at a central location in Columbia, which, from Charleston, it's only 1 hour and 30 or something like that. From North Augusta, it's only 1 hour. So we'll practice at Hammond. We'll practice maybe a couple of times out the week. Or what we would do is we would carpool and we would go to Charleston. The guys from Columbia and North Augusta and Augusta, they'll get in my car or Coach Eric's car, and we would ride to Charleston on the weekend. And then it was days where we would do 2-day practices. We'll get to 9 o'clock in the morning. We practice from 9 to 11. We hang out, go get some food. We practice again from 12 to 2. And then, we played on the weekend. So it made me a better coach as well, too, because you don't got too much time to prep. You just have to go out there and play.
Well, and I'll get you out of here, Coach. That's and I know AAU gets a lot of flack. Mm-hmm. But the one thing I love about AAU is it teaches kids to be flexible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you might be playing on court 6 one night, or you might think you're playing on court 4 against a sorry team. Yeah. And like, no, we're playing against the best team in Ohio. Like you gotta, and that's how life is. You have to be flexible and be able to switch it up. And I think that's a lot of time. That's something that people don't give AAU credit for.
Yeah.
It might be an unintended thing, but it teaches kids how to be flexible.
Yeah, and preparation too. I just want to tell a small story if we got time. Like our guys always told me in my 16s, they would always say, Coach Wade, you know fun. You know, everybody else go get to hang out. They get to go to Dave and Buster's. You got us on the itinerary, a schedule. And I said, guys, you know, they're older. So, you know, the older kids get to do their thing. The 17-year-olds, they're older. With the 16s, man, a lot of times I'll make them wake up at a certain time, you know, and I would do that just to mentally prepare them. You have to wake up at a certain time. You have to eat breakfast together. Then we got to shoot around at a certain time. We got to be at this gym at a certain time. And mentally just preparing them for how college is. And I just remember the one time I let them go to Dave and Buster's, we lost. You know, so I would never, you know, I would never. And the last thing I was going to say was just what you talking about, just being prepared at all times with AAU. I remember telling the story. We was all in the hotel room. And I said, guys, a lot of times your offers come at that 8 o'clock in the morning game because college coaches, what they'll do is say, well, if this kid can dive on the floor, knock down threes at 8 a.m., you know, I'm pretty sure he can make it at 7 o'clock at night. And the testament to that is we went to Atlanta, and it was after we didn't make Peach Jam. So it was kind of one of those tournaments like, okay, we're going to go play. We played a 9 o'clock in the morning game. Nobody's in the gym. Like, nobody's in the gym, Todd. But there's one guy sitting in the corner with some shorts and a hat on. So before the game, he shakes my hand. I said, hey, how you doing today? So we talking. And he said, man, you got any guys? I said, yeah, I got a couple guys. This right. So we talking about guys. Kobe has the game of his life, right? You know, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. Kobe is just, he can't miss. Long story short, we find out the guy works for John Lucas. He's scouting the 9 o'clock in the morning game for a John Lucas camp invite. Kobe gets a John Lucas camp invite to fly out to Houston for, I think it was a few days, and gets to see all these NBA guys and work out with John Lucas at his camp from a 9 a.m. AAU basketball game.
Man, Coach, that is so what you just said, and I wish I had that when I was young, man. Because unfortunately, youth is wasted on the young. You gotta be ready for your opportunity, man. And unfortunately, when you're 16, 15, 16, you think typically it's about scoring, but when you realize is like in college, they're only like 1 or 2, maybe 3 bona fide scores. Right. Everybody else got to fit in, get in with it. So what you just said, like that 8 o'clock game, when those coaches are in there, they already got their scores fixed. Yep. They're looking for guys who can, and female. I don't want to be gender specific.
Right.
They're looking for people who can play when they're uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
What else?
And that's what college basketball is about. Yes, it's about being like in high school. Everybody's comfortable.
right. You know, what else can you do? What else can you bring to the table? So, and like I always tell those guys too, college coaches are looking for pieces. They're looking for pieces. Like, you know, you might be getting blown out by 30, and they'll come to that. And I told guys, because I was a scout. You know, I scouted before. You know, I passed my test. You know, so we'll come to the game dressed like this, you know, sit behind your mom and look. One time I remember, I'll never forget, I was at Tusculum, and we went and scouted this team, and we wore regular clothes. I wore a hat, and there was this kid, man, we had him on our board, and we went in, we watched him, and he was going to get an offer. I'll never forget, he was going to get an offer, and he didn't know we was there, and he cursed out his coach, took him off the board.
And you know what? It's like, and I've seen, even doing this 5 years in, I've seen so many kids. I haven't seen one yet that can do that, and I would not go
not look past it. Right.
Yeah, like you got to be LeBron James for somebody to be like, well, I guess, you know, he just had a bad day. Like that. There's just so many other kids out there that you're like, man, I ain't put my livelihood on this.
You know, just a couple of days ago, we played a team, and we was beating the team pretty good, and you know, no knock to the team. And there was a college coach in the stands. He sat behind us in the locker room. I went off. I'm like, guys, it's not about scoring no more. It's about character now. Now he's checking to see what kind of character you have. We already won this game.
Right.
We was up 20 at half. So the game was over. And I told him, I said, now he's checking. Are you shaking your teammate's hand when you're getting out the game? How are you sitting on the bench? Are you passing out water when the coach is talking to you? Are you looking him in his eyes? I told him, I said, even if you have to fake it right now, just do it. Even if you have to fake it.
Yeah. Well, you know what, man? It's great catching up with you, Coach. We're going to get you out of here. And
for sure.
That actually brings me to something that put joy in my heart, because we did a lot with Jordan Watford over the last few years.
Heck of a player.
And man,
heck of a player.
I'll say one thing about Jordan, man. And I just saw he had 20-something points in college at Queens. But man, the dude was so consistent.
Oh my God.
His consistency was his best. Like, even when I went to that game and I saw him and I was talking about the coach who was kind of out of it, his consistency was a talent, because he would never get rattled. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he'd never be all crazy. He'd never be like, his dude was just so consistent. You know what I said, man? He's going to be great in life. Like, I don't know about basketball and all that, but man, he's going to have a good life, because he figured it out. And obviously a lot of that probably goes to his parents and his environment there with Coach Kaufman. But man, he just has a level of consistency. But man, and similar to your kids there and a lot of other kids that we cover. But we're gonna definitely make sure we keep our heads to this 3A bracket.
Thank you.
And see what everything transpires. And man, best of luck to you.
Thank you so much.
The rest of the Fox Creek family. And thanks for letting us kind of join on this journey all year.
For sure. And if you guys are not doing anything tomorrow, we have Dylan at 6:30 at Shortcut Road at Fox Creek. So first round of playoffs.
Coach.
So yes,
Coach,
sir.
Man. Coach, you got a college backcourt. We're not checking in with you until the third round, man.
Come on, Coach. Hey, Coach. Like,
we're not worried about Dylan.
Humbly. He's one game at Coach. I don't know if you can see. I'm still in the gym right now. Like, humbly, I'm in the gym right now.
Yeah. I tell you what. And I'm going to take you. Coach. And I'm going to tell you humbly. If Dylan beats y'all tomorrow, don't come on this program anymore.
Coach, come on, man. We doing everything we can to win this game tomorrow.
All right, man. Much respect to you, brother.
Thanks so much, Coach. Have a good night, man.
All
right, brother.
What's up, man?
What's going on? Good.
We're gonna close it out with the king.
No, chill. What's
Christian
good, man?
Savage, Coach Christian Savage has joined the Lost Letterman. What's going on, baby?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Man, I just had to, not an argument, but a slight disagreement with Chris Deering about the Class 5A championships, man.
Oh man, I ain't get a chance to watch it. What y'all was talking about?
Well, I'll tell you what he said. He was talking about all these great teams that were 5A. He said Dorman, Burns. What other teams did he say? Who else did he say? Dorman, Burns. Hold on, I'm sorry. Let me make sure, because I don't want to talk. I don't want to. Dorman, Burns. No, that's the wrong one. I apologize. Hold on a second. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Chilling, man. Watching this All-Star game. Or I was. Chilling though.
I can't stand that new format they did.
Yeah.
Dorman, Burns, Dutch Fork. I like Dutch Fork. I'm actually ask you about one of the guys, Wes Ashley. I hate it. I hate talking about stuff I don't know. I don't know Wes Ashley that well, but obviously they must have a really good team. But I told him that I didn't think anybody would come within 10 points of you guys. And he said that you guys might be tested, but you would win. I told him he was crazy. But anyway, Coach Christian Savage is on with the Lost Letterman tonight. Before we get to the tournament, man, how's the season going so far, man?
It's going good, man. It's good. Region play's been good. It's going good, man. Kids healthy, we're grinding, everything good.
Okay. With that being said, oh man, just call it what it is. You guys have probably the most talented team in the state. There's no doubt about that. You know, people can say what they want to say, but all you have to do is kind of look at the team. How difficult is it to keep those guys up, man? And I think some of this in the answer is in the culture that you guys there. But how difficult is it to kind of keep those guys up?
I mean, it's not that
because you really haven't played a meaningful game in probably 3 weeks. Keep going.
Well, it's not that tough because they all want to be really good, so they drive themselves. Like all of those kids really want to play basketball at the next level, so they all have that mentality and mindset. So all we do is push them. Like we just really push them. We coach them hard. And they take it, and they all want to play at the next level at the end of the day. So they drive themselves, man. So it's not that hard, you know. And they like each other, you know. They really like each other. They have fun with each other. They listen to music and joke. So I mean, it's a fun group. That's a really good group.
As a staff, were you guys concerned? Maybe concerned is not the right word, but what were your thoughts because you kind of knew that kind of Corey and especially Yale were probably not going to be there this year. So what were your thoughts when they decided to leave?
I mean, it wasn't no bad thoughts. Like, I mean, we supported them through the process, and we knew that we wanted them to elevate. Like we want them to elevate. They wanted to elevate. So, I mean, it really wasn't no bad thoughts. Like we had fun coaching those kids. So, it was no bad thoughts. And we just want to see them be successful. And, they did a great job at Ridgeview. They were great players. They made history. So we had no bad thoughts. You know what I mean? I mean, but then when you flip back to our team, we thinking about, who's going to start, who's going to score for us, different roles for guys playing in different roles that they've never really been in before. So, we had those thoughts as well. So we just grinded and got in the gym, and we got in the gym and just worked. So, those kids got better, you know what I mean? But with no bad thoughts with Corey and Yale leaving, you know what I mean? No bad thoughts.
and again, I'm outside, so I'm not in you guys' space. So I'm just looking at it from the outside. I thought that was one of the few instances where there's a lot of talk about transfer. I actually thought it worked out well for everybody. You know what I mean? Because especially the guys who were coming up, who were behind Corey and Yale, like, man, it gave them more opportunity. And then also it gave Yale and Corey opportunity to play somewhere else too, man, because, I think, man, they'd already won 2 state championships between the two. Like, man, that's a lot. That's a huge accomplishment. And sometimes you want to see, what else out there. So I thought it was one of those rare situations where it probably was beneficial for everybody involved. It was beneficial for everybody involved.
Yeah. It was cool. I mean, it was good. Obviously, like, it hurt to see him go, but I mean, it's a trend. It's a trend amongst kids to, go to a bigger platform their senior year and elevate themselves. And, like you say, they both, established a lot at Ridgeview as sophomores and juniors. They was back-to-back state champions, and Corey was all state as a junior. So it's like, for him, it's like, he's elevating, he's elevating his game. You know what I'm saying? He's chasing better comp. So, it's no hard feelings our way. You know what I'm saying? And, want to see those kids be successful,
Now, Coach Sav, 23-3 so far, 11-1 in the region. Mm-hmm. And I was actually talking to Chris Deering about this before you got on. I wasn't surprised you guys got beat at Westwood. I mean, when you played Westwood the first time. And this is why. Because I think this happened a few years ago, if I'm not mistaken, as well. Because I kind of know high school. I know how this is. You guys went up to Arby's and had 1, 2, 3, 4 games. Oh, cool. Like, you're up there, and he's a high school kid. You got 4 games in Tennessee. And this is no excuse, because Westwood is a great team. Like, I'm not taking anything away. They got some really good players. 4 days after Christmas, which is a tough time to play. 4 games after Christmas, you win that tournament, and then you come back. And this is actually what being a college player is about. Sometimes playing when you don't have it all, and you just, you don't have it all. So I wasn't surprised that you guys lost that game to Westwood, but talk a little bit about that bounce back and winning that tournament at Arby's, but also having to come back, because that's what a true professional does. You got to like, Jay-Z doesn't always want to have a concert. You got to perform every night. Talk a little bit about what it was like to win that tournament, then also turn around and have to play a really tough region game. You with me, Coach?
All right, hello.
You got me?
Yeah, you got me. Losing connection. Yeah. Right. We good.
I was basically saying, what was it like winning that Arby's Classic and then having to come back and play a really tough Westwood team?
Yeah. All right. So I heard most of what you were saying. Like, we did have 4. We had 4 games in like 5 or 6 days. So it was definitely tough on their body too, because the starters was playing a lot of minutes. So it's not an excuse, but I mean, most definitely, because we had 2 days off when we got back. So when we got back, like on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, we had 2 days off. We didn't practice until Sunday, and then we played Westwood on that Monday. So it was off for 2 or 3 days, and but we were still up in that game. And I was just talking to Trent about that game. I was just talking to him about that. I mean, we was up in that game. It was up 12-0 early, but we just didn't finish well. We didn't finish well, and that could be legs or could just be Westwood. They out executed us down the stretch, So, but yeah.
Well, I mean, that's part of being a champion, and you know that you got to bring it. sometimes when you don't have it, when you don't have your legs and kind of all that.
Yeah.
So with that being said, and you spoke a little bit about the competitive part of the team and the guys that you have, and I want you to talk a little bit about one guy in particular who I actually think is the most important part of your team. Mm-hmm. And it's is it Van Callen? Is that his name?
Yeah, JT Van Callen. Yeah.
I love that dude's game. You know, the thing I like about it is, man, he does what he does really, really well. And if he just kind of sticks to what he does, man, because I think so many times people, I mean, obviously you want to expand your game and all that, but sometimes, you know, people are like, man, well, he can't do this. He can't, you know, a person, not him, but a person can't do this. He can't do it. But I'm like, man, well, what can he do? Can he do that well? Like, and to that point, and I know you know him way better than I do, but Colin, is it Murray Boyles?
Yeah, Colin, yeah.
I saw him play it was in Rock Hill about 3 or 4 years ago, right before he went to where did he go? To Utah?
Yeah, Utah, yeah.
And man, I loved his game. He was killing, like when the high school thing. And I kept talking to people. I was like, well, what do you think about him? And he was like, well, you know, he might be mid-major. This dude is killing right now. He's like, well, he can only go left. I said, well, nobody stopped him going left, though. and he's one of the dudes like, man, just do what you do. And I saw him the other night. He went left with the Toronto Raptors. Yeah. He's still doing what he do. And that's why I love about JT is, man, like his athleticism is off the charts. If he continues to kind of do what he does well, man, I think the sky's the limit. So talk a little bit about JT.
Yeah, I mean, JT, you know, he's fun to coach. Like, he's super energetic. Like, he got a lot of energy. I mean, when he's locked in, like, you know, JT can do a little bit of everything, man. Like, he's worked really hard on his 3-ball. Like, he's put a lot of time in the gym working on his jumper. And that was a point of emphasis for him, shooting the ball better. So I want to say he's shooting like 39% right now, maybe 40 from the 3, which is really good. You know, last year he was more of a tweener, like a 4-5. Now he's playing more 2-3, you know. So, like, I mean, he's been developing, you know what I mean? And shoot, he can do a little bit of everything. Athleticism, crazy, block shots. He can pass. I think he had like 6 assists against Blythewood. He's a good passer. He just got to be locked in all the time, man. When he's locked in, he's really good. Like, he's really athletic. He's strong. He's tough. He compete, you know. So he just expanding his game, though. So, like, what would you say he does well? Because he can do a little bit of everything. He can slash, you know. But, you know, what would you say he do well?
I'm the wrong person to ask that because I haven't seen him play very much. But I'll tell you, and you're a young dude, so you probably don't remember this guy. He reminds me a lot of Ray Jackson, who was with the Fab Five. I think what he does well, if you ask me, is he out athletes people.
yeah.
Like and he out toughs people, and he's already got really good size, and he imposes his will on another person. Like, for me, if I was coaching him and they had a point guard who was really good, and I know that JT he probably wants to get to college, I would say, hey, JT, if you think you're a college player, go shut that dude down.
Yeah.
And then anything that comes off the rim, dunk it back in. That's all I would say. I was doing those 2 things. That's all I would do. So I think right now, at least, and again, I don't know him nearly as well as you guys do, so I don't know all the things he does. I know he's a hell of an athlete. Right. And, like, that stuff, like, bounces off the charts to me, you know. And I think sometimes we got to fall in, just as people, we got to fall in love with the things that we do well. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that's a God's gift for him. So do you disagree that that's one of his gifts?
No. I was just wondering, man. I mean, he a good kid, man. So when he go back and watch this, it's gonna give him a lot of confidence, man. So He a good kid. He worked hard, man. So, he'll be happy to hear you say that. So I just want you to say that.
And also the other thing I like about, he's not afraid to impose his will on somebody else.
Yeah. Oh no. He gonna talk trash. Yeah, he gonna talk to you. He gonna let you know. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's been blocking people's shots lately. He'll block your shot. He'll have a big block and he'll look in the crowd and just talk trash to the crowd. Like he's intense, bro. Like he's super intense. He compete at a high level. Like, and he wants to win. Like he really wants to win. He doesn't want to lose. So yeah.
He's part of the Four Horsemen. He's part of the Four Horsemen.
hey man, you gotta stop leaving out town, man. You gotta stop leaving out town, man. Fantastic Five, man. They're the Fantastic Five. Yeah,
I think we've shown Tal enough love. We'll stay with the Four Horsemen. Tal will be all right. So, with that being said, I got a serious question to ask you though. Is it? Do you think it's hard for and this is the wrong way to say it, but is it hard for the guys to continue to get up for the games? Because you guys blow a lot of teams out, you know what I mean? And I know it's guys who they know and everything, they might know from middle school, whatever. But in terms of, as you said initially, these kids want to go to college too. So they understand that they got to play at a certain level. And it's hard to play at that level when you're not playing, when you're blowing teams out by 2020. And you guys could probably blow teams out by more than you are. And it's just, you're not doing it. But is it hard to keep the kids up? Is my question.
Nah. It's not. Because they self-driven and like, Coach Staley don't let up on those guys. Like he don't let up. You know what I mean? Like we do a good job and Staley do a good job. Like we let our sub-varsity team, get reps in with our varsity guys. So it keeps practice competitive. So instead of just playing against your team, you playing against those guys and Coach Staley keep it intense. You know what I'm saying? Like he'll have days where he just be on one. And it's like you can't let up. Like it's no let up. So now like they motivated to play every game because they want to be good. Like they young and hungry. You got 2 sophomores, 2 juniors, a senior. You got 5 guys that are super hungry. You know what I'm saying? And then everybody off the bench, they're all hungry too. Like they all are young and they want to be good. So like kids play one-on-one at the practice all the time, getting shots up, with coaches. Like kids want to be good. So they're excited to play. Plus you got cameras and highlights and videos and all that. So you're going to get all the pictures anyway, the pictures. You're going to
Four Horsemen, baby.
They lit. So they happy to play every game, every single game,
I got 2 more. I'm gonna get you out of here. There's two or three more questions. And thanks for joining tonight, Coach Savage. I know you guys are in tournament mode. CJ and is it RJ?
Yep, CJ RJ.
Man, I always get them mixed up because they're about the same size and they kind of look the same to me. But talk a little bit about them and their maturation and their development, man. Because every time I see them, they're on the rim. But to be honest with you, I haven't really seen their games because they're always dunking. So talk a little bit about them as players and their development.
Yeah, man. Like those kids developed fast in just 1 year. So I mean, when they were freshmen last year, they were both just playing like back to the basket 5, and they didn't get a lot of minutes. RJ was hurt, towards the end of the year and kind of in the beginning. So they were raw, but they were so hungry, and they got in the gym and grinded, man. So like they're developed from 5s back to the basket 5s to now they're wing forwards more of wings right now. In about a year or 2 they'll be like wings for sure, but they're still like forwards right now. But they're both shooting a high percentage from 3. RJ shooting 43% from the 3.
So they stretch out? I didn't know they stretched out like that.
Oh man, they CJ like to shoot. CJ like to shoot. RJ like to shoot. They both defend. They're both putting the ball on the floor in transition. They'll get a rebound and push and make a decision, make a play. We play 5 out a lot of times, and they're on the perimeter attacking and stuff. So man, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, they want to be good so bad. That's the part that makes them good. They're talented, and they want to be good. Those two kids, like, they really, really want it. So yeah, the sky's the limit for them boys. Like, they developed so much in 1 year. Like, just imagine, next year and then another year. So they still got AAU this summer to develop, another high school season to develop, another summer to develop, and another high school season after that. So they almost got like 4 more seasons to develop and get better. So,
Well,
it's gonna be crazy.
one thing I really liked about it, one of them dunked the other night and banged the backboard after it, man. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Shout out.
And let me say this too. Though they're both really good kids. Like, they're vocal. Like, RJ and CJ are very vocal. Like, they talk a lot in practice. They're not shy. They're not kids they're not scared to lead. Like, they lead, they talk, they communicate. I mean, those some special kids. Like, I just wanted to say that because they really do communicate in practice a lot and in the game.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yep.
Okay. Hold on one sec, Coach. Hold on one sec. 2 more questions. When I was talking to Chris earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and I've said this a million times, but I think that the advantage. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yep.
Coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the advantage you guys have. Okay. I think the advantage you guys have that another team might not have is the composure and it's not the reason why I think you guys are not going to be tested is not because you guys are the most talented team, which you are. The reason why I think you got, and I know you're not, is that team has played so many big games, like the Arby's game, the Bash, even in Westwood. Got composure. Like Tal, he's got a certain composure playing with Yale and playing in 2 other state championship games. When they go to the CLA, when you guys get there, they're not going to be rattled by that. It's just going to be another game. And they're going to have all Ridgeview there with them. And there's going to be no nerves involved. And other teams are good, because I've heard the coaches say, man, I wasn't sure if we could do. When a team like Ridgeview senses that in another team, it's over. So that's a long-winded way to say, how much do you think that just the fact that you guys have played such a difficult schedule along with that talent helps not only you guys now, but it helps, your guys as they go on to hopefully, play in college?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good measuring stick. Like, it's a great measuring stick to see how good you really are. You know what I'm saying? Like, our kids talk about being the best in the state. Now you're playing against the best in the country. Now you're playing against one of the best players out of Tennessee or Virginia or Georgia. So it's just a great measuring stick, but it definitely helped because, like you say, like, we've been in so many big games. Like, when we was in Virginia, we had 2 really big games, I mean, the first game was a tough game too, but that third and fourth game were tough, big games. Like, we were down at half that one of those games in VA. So we had tough games and we had to survive and get out of there. You know what I'm saying? So guys done been in the fire. Even in when we played at C.A. Johnson, we played those teams from North Carolina, Chambers, Gaston Christian. Like, those are tough teams. So it definitely helps mold us to when we go in the playoffs and in the region play. Because we're just used to. That's when you say, like, what helps us get up, like what helps the kids get up to play, is playing those games like that. Like, when you playing teams like that, you have to get up or you're gonna get embarrassed. So when they see the levels and they see how different it is, and when you play a dynamic and you see, like, we're good enough to be here, but we can't hang tight, and you actually see the difference, and you play Mount Verde and you see the difference, you're like, all right, like, now when you're playing against, your other competition, your mindset is just a little bit different because you've seen high level talent, you've seen it right up close, and you've seen the difference. So yeah, I mean, it prepares us for sure though. It doesn't make us nervous for games at all, you know.
And I think that's so much. And I'm gonna sound like a homer here, but I'm just telling what I think is the truth. I think that's what celebrates you guys in Gray, in that you guys play such a tough schedule, and the kids are so used to being in those types of environments. I know this personally, man. It makes a difference when you're used to, or when you play in those types of environments, because it's different, you know, playing on a Tuesday night in, you know, somewhere else than playing on a Tuesday night when you're playing a really, really, really good team. And when you do that time after time, it's a different feel. So I'm not even going to ask about the playoffs anymore. 2 more questions for you. One, what you got going on for AAU?
AAU, be with Upward Stars again, you know, Upward Stars 3SSB, and I'll be directing Upward Stars Columbia again.
Now, how do you guys go about picking a team for that?
For which one? 3SSB?
Yeah.
3SSB. I mean, you want the
no,
best
no, the one in Columbia. The one in Columbia.
Columbia.
The one in Columbia.
So I mean, you know, it's pretty much like for kids, like if you don't make the 3SSB team, it's another, you know, regional team. It's like an independent team for you to play on, and we have different teams across the state. You know, we have a team in Florence, Columbia, upstate. You know, you have teams spread out across the state, and you have directors. So us as directors, we kind of put these teams together, and we kind of put the coaches together. We get coaches from the community, from the area that want to coach. That's not a part of the 3SSB team or the program, but they still with Upward as a whole. So, you know, really the directors and coaches, we kind of pick the teams, put the teams together. And this year we're going to have a 7th grade team all the way through an 11th grade team again. So it's going to be another good summer for both programs, 3SSB and Columbia.
Man, that's what's up, man. Last question. Where did you coach before?
Ridgeview.
Head coach.
Head coach, South Florence. Yep.
What did you learn in your stint at South Florence that is going to help you going forward?
South Florence, I mean, it's really it's a lot I could say. It's a lot I could say.
Actually, it's not about. Actually, it's not about really South Florence. It's probably about you being a younger coach, because you were younger then. There's no doubt about that. Right. So, what would you say you've learned now as a younger coach?
Like kind of like the business side, the business side of it. How people, you know, get different jobs. You know, people in power. You know, you got admin and stuff like that might, you know, get a different job, and it's a real business side of it. And also, you know, every school is different, you know, as far as just whether it's support or talent, the type of kids in the area. It's just so much stuff like behind the scenes, you know, professionalism, you know, how to handle certain situations, you know. It's a lot of stuff, a lot of little stuff. But yeah, I mean, probably one of the biggest things I learned though was probably just you can't get too emotional. You can't get too up and down. You know, you got to kind of stay in the middle, whether that's winning games, losing games, or just stuff within the team. You know, just kind of just staying in the middle, never getting too high, never getting too low. You know what I mean? So, but definitely learned a lot of stuff. You know.
What would you say? What would you say are some of the biggest things you've learned from being with Coach Staley, and also you guys got a really strong Dr. Mack, and you know all that support's like, man, you get spoiled by all the support in this environment, and obviously with Coach Stoneman too, with you know being with him.
Yeah, I mean, Staley, I learned a lot, man. I'm still learning stuff from him. Just, with intensity, bringing intensity every day, always being prepared. Preparation is, dead serious, as he liked to say. So a lot about just intensity and just how to run the program,
Coach is serious, man.
Yeah, he's serious. Like, he don't smile a lot, you know what I'm saying? He do smile though, but like, just serious, being locked in, weight room, being on time, being on time, like stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Stoneman too, man. Stoneman, very detailed. Stoneman taught me how to coach defense. Like, that was the first person I seen really like teach defense. Like, but I was a younger coach. That was my first, like my second time being an assistant. But really seeing him like, teach defense and how to scout, scouting teams and stuff like that. Like, Stoneman used to write that stuff down. Like, he didn't, like, this was back before I think it was huddle. It was like crossover. We was using like crossover. And he used to write down the other team plays. Like, that's how much he scouted. Like, it, so it's just different. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, definitely learned a lot from Stoneman, man, and Staley, and then the support at the whole school. Like, it's an athletic school, so like they just support it all the way, and they got 6 state championships. So, it's a tradition. Everybody wants to win. Everybody want to be good. Every sport. So it's good.
Yeah. Shout out to Puff Daddy, man, Charles Proctor. I try to get Coach Staley to smile, man. He smiled for a second to be like, you take it right back to the stone face, but man, shout out to Coach Staley, man. You're in a good spot, man, because you're surrounded by people who know how to do it the right way. But anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Nah, man. Nah, I mean, I appreciate you having me on, man. Locked in for the playoffs, man. Locked in for this run, and kids been working hard. Shout out to the coaches, man. Ridgeview coaches, players. AAU season coming up too, so it's gonna be a good summer there with Upper Stars and my B team went 16-0. I'm gonna say that. Ridgeview B team is super good, man. It's a lot of young kids in the pipeline that you don't see at all, but it's some straight studs. Where about in 2 or 3 years, people gonna be like, "Oh, they transfers. Where y'all get them from?" And it's gonna be like, "Nah, they play B team." You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a pipeline over there right now. Pipeline right now.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I tell people all the time, how they recruit is they have great teams, and what the parents do is, like, if I've got a kid in the 6th or 7th grade. And I think he wants to be a basketball player. I'm going to say, what are good programs here? And guess what? I'm going to move somewhere near that program. So that's just that pipeline is going to happen naturally because people are going to want to be in that program. It's just a natural thing. It's only makes sense. But with that being said, last thing I wanted to ask you, man. I know it's another player, but I know you're familiar with him. The coach, the point guard at Dutch Fork, man, I like that guy's game, man. Talk a little bit about his game. Yeah, man. That dude, he got a certain swagger with his game too, man. So talk a little bit about, I know he's in you guys' bracket. They're not going to beat you all, but I know that he's going to do his thing in the tournament. And I know that's another player that you know well.
Yeah, I'm close. I'm close with both of those kids. Closer with Justice because I've been knowing him longer, but close with Samaje too, man. I mean, he's a hooper. Like, he's just a hooper. Like, he got the swag.
He can
wants to be good. He wants to be good. He want to win. Like, he can shoot. He can pass. He can play. Man, he got a great feel for the game. He got anticipation skills. Like, Samaje tough, man. Like, I've been seeing him all. Like, he's came and worked out with me before too. So we spent some time in the gym. And for a kid like him, and even Justice Bell, for those kids to drive to the other side of town to put work in, like, that say a lot. You know what I'm saying? To be a high school kid, a junior in high school, you know what I mean? So, like, Samaje want to be good, man. Like, he puts a lot of time in. I like him. He tough. Like, I would put him in a conversation with you know, the other good point guards in our state in that class. Like in that 2027 class, it's a lot of good point guards. And you got Colt, Justin Vaughn, and Jaden Johnson, and you got him, and then you got so many other kids that I'm gonna forget. But it's a lot of good point guards in that class, you know, a lot, or even combo guards, you know what I'm saying? Like even combo guards. So he's in that conversation though. He's had a great year. I think he'll be all state. I think he's gonna be all state this year.
Any kids? Any players?
And I want him in AAU too. I want him in our AAU program, so he know that as well. So I'm gonna send this to him later and tell him I want you to play with us.
Well, don't get us involved with all the AAU talk. So, what? Any other players you want to shout out as we get out of here?
Shoot, man, just it could be a lot. So I'm gonna just say everybody, man. Everybody that everybody that tapped.
I know if you start naming them, man, you're gonna go about 60 players deep.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying, man. Shout out my boys in the NBA, man. Dylan Jones, Julian Phillips. They just got traded. But just to see those kids living out their dream and being the NBA, you know, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So shout out those guys, man. And yeah, shout out to everybody that tap in Savage Academy and Upward Stars, you know?
Yes, sir. Let us know if there's anything you need on our end. And shout out to Tal, man. I see he just got an offer from Pembroke State, or UNC Pembroke. I'm sorry. I'm showing my age Pembroke here, but UNC Pembroke, man. Good Valentine's Day for that brother.
yeah, great Valentine's. Yeah, great Valentine's for sure.
Oh man, so we'll check in down the line, man, and you guys enjoy this tournament run.
All right, man. All right, appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Yep, thank you for having me, man. All right.
Mm-hmm.